Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Monday night. Tonight, we give you the coverage of the Trinity Racing League presented by Larry Arts Production. Season 1 is slowly coming to a conclusion. Crazy to say, tonight is the second to last race of the season. We've got tonight here at Cod-O-Club, and then we've got next week at Las Vegas to crown our first ever champion of the Trinity Racing League. Currently, it looks like Vincent Sora is the threat that everyone has to stop out and stomp out, but there's only going to be about 21 drivers registered up for tonight's race. A low car count, meaning there's not a lot of points to be taken away to stop the 15 machine here this evening. It looks quick. We'll see how much that changes here tonight as we are excited to take these vehicles to the 2-mile course of Cod-O-Club for the Cod-O-Club 220 here tonight, as our sponsor is the Lucky Cod Award. Thank you so much to everyone that's joining with us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting for tonight's coverage. We're hoping tonight that we've fixed all the issues. I know we've had a lot of issues here on Monday evenings as well as on Wednesday nights with buffering. We believe we might have found our issue. Cross your finger, knock on some wood. We're excited for the racing action to be covered here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall. And Zach, with Richmond last week, Thomas Green, he continues to rally, and now he's got his second win of the season. Can he go for number 3, or is it all figure out how to stop the 15 of Vincent Sora?
I think the big question is, will Vincent Sora have, a blunder here tonight? Because if he really doesn't have like something major happen, it's really going to make things tough going into a final race for everybody to make the points up. So I think if you're someone that's trying to make that ground up to Vincent Sora, you better hope he has some type of blunder tonight and it ends up being a bad one, because again, like you said, not the biggest field we've seen this season, so not as many points to be lost technically, but still, if he was to get outside of top 15 position, that could give an amount for a driver to gain a decent bit and have a shot going into that final race. But I think tonight it could be the final shot for them, because if Vincent Sora does go out there and have a great race, it could lock it up, so to say. So it's really maybe a championship decider, and this is how these chases play out, and he has been bulletproof so far.
He certainly has. A couple of returning drivers we haven't really seen here recently. Watch out for the 80 machine and Justin Sipes. He's going to be currently 4th on the board to watch out for. Also, with the type of style Cod-O-Club is, sadly, it's a little heartbreaking to say it, but this track no longer existing in the real world. But in the virtual side of things, we are able to race on this incredible course, 2 miles in length, so wide you can go anywhere from 4 to 5, sometimes 6 wide if you're feeling daring. But a track that is going to be testing a lot of the driver's skills on their awareness levels. How close can you get to someone? How can you side draft, utilize the draft? Going to be a lot of factors that drivers try to focus on here this evening, on top of what we've seen all season long. Tire wear. Zach, there's so many factors that you got to worry about with a track like Cod-O-Club in front of us, with all those moments that we know can happen at the course that I feel like brings us great finishes each and every time we're here.
Oh, this track is so amazing. We love the fact that we've got to keep it here on iRacing. Of course, the unfortunate events that transpired when they tore this track down is a crime, but we won't talk about that. And we luckily have it here on iRacing. So, and I think the Xfinity car, with it being probably one of the older style race cars here on iRacing, this fits this track more than anything. I think you're going to get to see a classic tires versus new tire, or old tires versus new tires battle, and really very much a game of who can keep those tires underneath them. So I think we got a great show underway here, and we'll see how qualifying goes, because I don't think it's going to matter the most, but I do think early to have that start out front can help you allow to save those tires a little bit.
Set the tone and get ready for it. We're under the lights and we're ready for qualifying as drivers get ready. 5 minutes to set your fastest lap time, but only able to have 2 laps to do so. You find yourself touching the grass, going and hitting the wall, sliding too far. Your lap could be turned invalidated as everyone's searching for that blazing fast TV pole award. The driver that has the most is going to be Jarrett Talmadge in the 27. He has 5 poles this season. Can he go for number 6? Or can someone else try to steal the show? One of those drivers that wants to steal it, Jackson Anderson, one of the few drivers with 2 wins this season, and he's able to have a little bit of a turnaround. I think the championship a little bit too far out from his liking, as he's 42 points back from Vincent Sora, but would love just a change of scenery of being back up front where he was for most of the season.
No doubt has had a ton of speed this season with those 2 wins, and I think tonight could be a possibility for another because this track, I think it could suit that aggressive style that we've seen from the 08 this season. So he's going to get up on the wheel and definitely be right in the mix. And like you said, I don't think he's going to have a shot for anything when it comes to the championship. I mean, it's still within the realms to get, up that leaderboard and get into maybe the top 3 position in the championship, or at least a top 5 for himself. But it's just not been the consistent chase that he's needed with all that momentum and speed he carried into it. It's just been very much like his regular season, kind of boom or bust. So we'll see if tonight is that boom moment.
It's taking the outside through 3 and 4 to set up for this lap for the 08 machine. Jackson Anderson, fastest first lap so far, a 40.561. Expecting that to be pushed around as this lap continues on. Now going to be the fastest driver, Isaac Reimer, as his first lap, a 40.095, already a half a second faster than Jackson Anderson, which, I mean, one of those factors of, do you want to take it slow, fast? How do you build up your lap time and your speed for your money lap? Looks to be lap number 2 is the money lap for most drivers, as Jackson Anderson up to the top, close to the wall, down to the apron, looking to maximize speed while closing down the distance and across the line. Looking for the pole time, and it will be Vincent Sora taking the pole instead of Anderson, a 39.923 by the 15, who's marching for his 3rd pole of the season. But Zach, you touched on, for Anderson, his aggression. I think when we think about aggression, this 88 is my favorite driver. Whenever we say be aggressive at the big tracks, he is the one that's willing to do it.
That's for sure. Cody's definitely willing to go out there and risk it, and we'll see what he can do here on his qualifying lap. So first lap starting now for this 88, and this will be that momentum builder. Get some heat in the tires. What you really don't want to go out here and do in this first lap is overwork the tire and kind of spike that tire temp, gain that tire pressure that you don't want to have. So right here, really, you're just kind of slowly building things up, and you should see out of 4, he's going to go full on with it, and it should be his fast lap on that second time around. So Cody going to get another shot at it here around this great 2-mile track here as he takes it all the way to the top, like I thought, to build the momentum up.
Trying to carry as much speed, have the best run off the exit turn number 4. Looking at the drivers that are currently your top 5, Vincent Sora, Joshua Kanata, Jackson Anderson, Ryan Kelly, and Joshua Stovall, a strong top 5 currently. And for the longest time, we would say Joshua Kanata, you not really know him for his speed, but recently he has been one of the drivers that's been around our top 10 to top 5. Currently 2nd. This doesn't really surprise me as much, as these bigger courses, that 16 can just carry a little bit more speed than the others around him. But Cody Reed, a little bit of a slide there off the exit of turn 2. Could scrub away some of that pole time that he was looking for. I'm looking at these drivers. I mean, Zach, this is one of the few drivers that's actually gotten down to that white line. A lot have been staying to that first black seam. But for Cody Reed, down to the apron, does he have the pace? One of the slowest first laps of anyone, trying to keep a little bit of the temperatures for the money lap. And for Reed, not good enough for a quick time at all. He only moves up 1 position, up to 19th, a 40.235. Where did all that speed go away?
That is wild to see. I mean, but it just shows you how close even this field is. That's 19th right now. That's the, second to last car in the field. Technically, what that's put a qualifying lap in, and that's 3/10 of a second, between the field. So very, very close between everybody. And it just shows you, I mean, if Cody just maybe finds a couple hundreds, he's in, from 19th all the way possibly up to 12th. So it is one of those things where things are so close, you're just trying to get every little ounce of speed out of the car. And looks like we also have Jarrett Talmadge join the session too, so he'll be starting from the rear of the field.
As Talmadge will not set a qualifying time in, he will be 21st on the grid. Also want to say congratulations to Vincent Sora, grabbing his 3rd Blazing Fast TV Pole Award. Head on over to Blazing Fast TV on Twitch and YouTube to check out Dakota Moniz's point of view as he's racing or playing video games. Follow, subscribe on YouTube and also on Twitch to look for some chill, relaxing streams. Thank you so much to Blazing Fast TV for being one of our major sponsors of the Trinity Racing League as we are into our warm-up session where the drivers get 5 minutes to get any last bit of practice in as well. Let's us take a deeper look of how the season's been as well. Let's first take a look at our point standings entering tonight. It is really a set the tone night for a lot of drivers earlier in the chase, but at this point, this is our 4th race out of 5 in this chase period, and Zach, it is solidified of Vincent Sora is the threat. How do you beat him? Well, there's only a few drivers that are really within a points reasonable position. That's Jared Talmadge, Larry Yingling, Justin T. Campbell, and that's it. It's your top 4 really that are left on the board for a chance to win this championship. But you look at those top 4 and the way they've been running, Campbell's been having a rough, consistent run for himself. Larry Yingling's had his ups and downs. Jared Talmadge is going to start all the way down in 21st. And Vincent Sora, it doesn't matter where he starts, he's going to be in those top 3 by the end of the race.
That's for sure. He's always very quick. So Vince Sora hard to gain points on, of course, with that 22-point advantage. And I think if we don't leave here tonight, and if it's double digits, it's going to be very, I think, in the safe cards for Vince Sora to be able to drive to a safe Las Vegas next week. But if they can get under single digits, it will kind of pressure him. So, we're going to need to see upwards of 12 to 15 points gained here tonight from some of these drivers if they want a shot. But still, it can happen. Racing, anything can really happen. So don't count anybody out right now. Nothing is unmathematical. And as you see the rest of the drivers, it's really close between a lot of these guys for really a top 5 points standing. So we got a great battle all throughout these standings.
Certainly is. Great to look around. Some of those ways you can earn bonus points. Already Vincent Sora's grabbed one with getting the pole. 0 incidences. You also will grab you a points for yourself, as well as leading the lap, leading the most laps, winning the race. All ways that you can get a bonus point as well. And looks like our schedule is broken to pop up, but we only have 2 races left. Zach, we've got ourselves Auto-Club here tonight, next week at Las Vegas. But if we look at the other parts of the chase, Thomas Green getting his first win at Talladega to start the chase off. Then Vincent Sora taking the win at Charlotte for race number 2. And then last week, Thomas Green grabbing his 2nd win and proving that he still has it. That 3 machine looked very strong last week with winning the tire lottery, which is always a fun thing to watch of who will be in the best tire situation entering a race, as drivers have less than 2 minutes left in warm-up. This is our time that we have our pick-ems. Who are drivers to watch out for? And hey, we're looking at my pick of a driver to watch out for. That's Jackson Anderson, trying to perfect his pit road entry currently. That 08 machine, I just have a feeling to watch out for him. He's either going to be, like we've noted on, boom or bust. I think he's going to be a threat to either win, or he might be a threat to get into someone to try to make a big pass. I think he's going to be the driver of note here tonight to watch out to get into victory lane.
We'll take the driver that's probably maybe the hottest driver in the series so far, getting those 2 victories so far in these chase. He's not a chase driver. Thomas Green in that 3 machine, though, has been excellent each and every week, and I think he wants to continue this performance. Even though the regular season wasn't good enough to get in, I think he wants to, come out here and make a statement saying, if I was in this chase, I would have had a shot at the championship. And he's definitely been right up there with Vincent Sora. So I think the 3, a great driver to watch here tonight at Auto-Club.
I love that pick. I think Thomas Green has been looking like the Thomas Green of old back in the ISRC season 2 days, where he was just a threat each and every week to get into victory lane. And then we have our 3rd member of our crew, Robert Moyer Jr., who runs production in the background. And he's going to be going with the fan favorite of Joshua Stovall in the 1 machine, the Brown crew, looking for the pace. And this isn't a bad pick either. I think this is kind of interesting. We all pick drivers that I feel like are good picks when we go to super speedway racetracks. There's a lot of aspects of super speedway racing here at Auto-Club, and that's why we're picking the 3 drivers we have here on our screen.
Definitely some great picks. I like the Stovall one too. I think this track takes the ability to just send it, and I think he's definitely one of those drivers that's willing to do that, Sam.
As we get ourselves ready for our featured race here tonight, it's going to be a bit of a long one. 110 laps is the distance here tonight. We want to say thank you to Larry Arts Production for being the title sponsor of the Trinity Racing League for Season 1. Go head on over to Larry Arts Production on YouTube and social media to see his wide range of videos from stop motion, vlogs, live streams, and more. Most recently, it's been a lot of food reviews, some of the new concoctions that fast food restaurants have been coming out with, go check out what Larry Arts Production can make you laugh or giggle about. We also want to say thank you to our grid sponsor as we bring up our grid here tonight for the Cod-O-Club 220. That being Orchid Ink Tattoo Studios. Go follow Orchid Ink Tattoo Studios on Instagram for your one-stop shop of custom full color tattoos, stickers, paints, and more. Again, that's Orchid Ink Tattoo Studios on Instagram. Taking your Blazing Fast TV Pole Award, it's the 15 of Vincent Sora. He's been on the run in a tear for a championship, and he's going to continue on top here tonight with the pole award. To his outside is the 16 of Joshua Kanata. Back in row number 2, we find in third place the 08 of Jackson Anderson and Ryan Kelly in 4th. Cedric Hunter, what a qualifying run by the 13 Hello Kitty machine as they'll start in 5th. Joshua Stovall, Robert's pick, will be starting in 6th position. Isaac Reimer in the 77 will start 7. Well, are those the numbers that 77 needs? As that's a good lineup for himself. Returning driver Justin Sipes will be starting in 8th place for the 80. Zach's picks a pick of the 3 machine. Thomas Green will be starting 9th. And finishing out our top 10, it's the 14 of Jesse Thornock.
Starting in 11th is Ali Fonseca in the 24 machine. Alongside him is 3rd place points man Larry Yingling in the 67. 13th is going to go to the 17 of Chris Stitz, with 14th being held by the 2 of Stephen Clapp. 15th is going to be the 99 of Michael Miller, with 16th going to the 8 of Noah Steele. Mark Labertone going to start back in 17th. Alongside him in 18th will be the 66 of Justin T. Campbell. With Cody Reed, we watched him on his qualifying lap back here in 19th. Alongside him in 20th will be the 01 Aaron Krolick. And rounding out our 21 cars here tonight, it'll be the 27 of Jared Talmadge. Oh, actually, no, he's not here.
21 drivers expected, but Talmadge not here. That's going to make things a little bit more solidified for Vincent Sora. Due to the fact of Talmadge not here, that makes the de facto second place in points go to Larry Yingling, who's 25 points back from the leader entering into this race, as Talmadge now trying to reconnect back in. And Talmadge, connection issues, the worst thing this 27 could ask for on such a crucial race as the drivers are leaving pit road. Talmadge, if he is able to connect into this race, will have to start in pit road for himself. That will be a huge just setback for himself here tonight. But again, this race, 110 laps halfway at the end of lap 55. No fast repairs, 4 extra sets of tires in pit road to work with here tonight. And Zach, Talmadge not here in that racing position, not on track. Not the worst case scenario, but if he goes a lap down, if not more, that's when we're in real trouble.
That's for sure. And, you know, another thing I'd worried for him is smaller field here tonight, 20 cars out here, 21 cars out here. And this track is known to be very wide and very racy, and it can go green. So if it does stay green, he is just in a massive hole, you know, to put himself in this race starting up the road. So terrible situation for him, and bit him at Talladega, of course, with the connection issues, and maybe tonight it might be plaguing him too. So Vincent Sora here, our pole setter, just needs a smart finish here tonight, and he should be selling to maybe a championship.
It has been a season of learning a vehicle, learning new styles of racing. For some, it's learning other drivers' tendencies. Others, it's we know where you stand. Here tonight, Auto Club, Vincent Sora has found great success, but who can snuff out that success here tonight? Well, let's find out as the Cod-O-Club 220 is underway. Vincent Sora, Joshua Kanata take off and go. 20 drivers start out here tonight. Jared Talmadge still not into pit road just yet, but 20 drivers roar down into turn number 1, led by the 15 of Vincent Sora.
Great start from the 15 of courses. That second row is going to be battling very tough here as Kanata, with a great qualifying lap, is able to keep himself on the outside of the 08 of Jackson Anderson. And Kanata has had some very good runs back at ISRC at Auto Club. So I think this, in my opinion, one of his better tracks. The 16 could be a big factor even tonight.
A little bit of trouble deeper in the field for Cody Reed, Aaron Krolick, as well as Mark Labertone. Losing a little bit of touch for the both of them, but the outside of turn number 4, lap 1, give it to the 15. Vincent Sora leading a lap, and that's his second bonus point being given to the 15. And no one else has gained a bonus point just yet, as Jared Talmadge finally registered in, sitting in pit road, yet to leave his box. But he'll look back behind the 15. Kanata just watching in his mirror. It's going to be seen the 30 of Ryan Kelly trying to work that outside groove, as well as Cedric Hunter as Anderson trying to find if there is even speed on the inside groove.
It's tough. Sometimes you get stuck on that bottom side and you just kind of have a lot of drivers just working the outer groove around you. And right now, Ryan Kelly trying to do what Kanata did to Jackson Anderson. So we'll see if Anderson can make some headway here down into the one, or will he try to slot in behind Ryan Kelly here and just try to solidify the position and hopefully lead the way. Some contact back here. Justin Sipes and Stovall battling for that 6th position.
Back and forth, trying to find your footing. Where do you want to be taking off and go? And for Justin Sipes, aggression is another word you could use for the 80 machine. Relentlessly pushing forward is another one of a phrase you could use. That 80 is going to do everything in his power to try to move forward as we hop on board with the 77 and Isaac Reimer, who currently runs in 9th position. The Kodak number 77, watching last week's winner of Thomas Green, currently running in 8th place, just watching the chaos in front as drivers heading low, going high, trying to run defensively, and that's the battle for the lead. And Joshua Kanata fights for the lead position, the 16, trying to run the inside groove, and almost clearing, finally clear over Vincent Sora.
What a move, and he almost makes contact to that wall at the exit of 2, but just gets it rolled up enough. But here comes a run for the 15 down to the inside here, down the bumpy backstretch here. Is he off into turn number 3? Can Sora clear him? But I think the 16 of Kanata going to power around that outside and give the lead to Joshua Kanata.
Joshua Kanata, usually it's strategy. It's not normal to watch just pure race pace be the reason why the 16 takes the lead. And it's Kanata leading the charge as he crosses the line. Vincent Sora lingering in 2nd. I'm curious, because I feel like we've seen this before in the past, Zach, where Vincent Sora will kind of set the tempo for the first couple of laps, and then if a driver shows potential of wanting to try to take the lead, he'll give it to them, let them race away, and then he'll take that position back within the next 10 to 15 laps. I think for Sora, though, maybe it's like a game of testing his abilities here early on, just on lap number 5.
Always playing that cat and mouse game. You got to be ahead on that stuff, and you got to be willing sometimes to give those positions just to manage your equipment a little bit more. So we'll see how that works out. As now the 15 looking back to the inside here, a little side draft from him down the front straightaway here. So going to dive down to the inside. And this is the cool thing about this track. So wide, it kind of gives a lot of options. If Kanata goes all the way to the wall, it allows the 15 to kind of pull that slide job, but he doesn't do that. He kind of goes to that 2nd, 3rd lane and puts it more on the door of the 15 and makes it very tough on the exit for Vincent.
As Vincent Sora still lingers, another attempt to the inside slide job move, not going to work out just yet. Behind them in 3rd place, going to be Ryan Kelly in the orange 30 machine. Just trying to see who he wants to work with. Do you want to go high? Do you want to go low? Anderson still lingering on the inside with Cedric Hunter. The outside groove starting to see some new names pushing forward. One of those being Justin Sipes, already up 3 positions, now make it 4. That 80 is making that 2nd and 3rd group really work for himself as he's tearing up those tires just on lap number 7.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that comes back to maybe hinder him later in this race, or does he manage it well? We'll have to really see. I mean, nighttime here racing at Auto-Club, even though a very bumpy, abrasive track, it can be very much, a race of just trying to get the best track position you can. Is right there. Jackson Anderson still sliding back here in the 08. I think he's trying to manage his stuff, but it's tough to do when you got a long line of cars lined up on that outside there. Is hit both him and Cedric Hunter trying to break away from that side draft to get low on the low side.
And moving up into 2nd place, now going to be Ryan Kelly in the 30 machine. That's attempting now the outside to build up the momentum to attack our leader of Joshua Kanata. As the 30 trying to ramp his way forward. This is the same move that he made to make the pass on 2nd place. He ran high, built momentum on the backstretch, then went for the dive bomb move into turn number 3. Not going to be the case here for the lead position as the 30 will continue to run that 2nd groove for now. Just trying to find the momentum and the timing to go for this pass as Ryan Kelly looking stout and ready to pounce for the lead spot. And Zach, this is that racing that you love to see, but is so nerve-wracking, I think, especially for Vincent Sora, that's seeing a lot of these competitors that are trying to attack that lead spot that he would rather be lingering in.
That's for sure. And you look at that Ryan Kelly just straight to the inside line, able to clear that great racing that we're seeing up here. No, 3 wide farther back, because it looks like Sipes, who at one point was right there in 4th, now somehow he is back to 7th. So maybe the tires starting to play a factor a little bit right now. But Kanata covered off that 15 also as he tried to make a move down here.
Trying to make all the aggressive moves that you can, and looking at drivers that were supposed to be major factors to stop Vincent Sora on this run for a championship. Jared Talmadge currently 2 laps down. He is now on track, but being 2 laps down, a tough position. Third in points, Jared going to be Larry Yingling. He currently runs back in 15th position, not showing as much speed as you would expect for him to really challenge up front. And then in 13th is Justin Campbell, who's 4th in points. All the competitors that were supposed to run well here tonight to try to stop the momentum of the 15, they are nowhere to be found in the first 10 laps of this race, but we still have 100 laps to go. But Vincent Sora is setting sail. This type of run where drivers finish right now would clinch the 15, that championship.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's his 2 main competitors in Larry Yingling and Jared Talmadge are farther back, and Campbell even in 13th. So pretty much everybody inside that top 4 in points that we said had a shot maybe to have maybe any advantage to get on that 15, they're outside the top 12. So all of them right now in a struggling position compared to that 15, who I must say just retook the lead back.
I mean, I'm looking at the points. The first driver that is, Stovall able to clear as looking from a top view, backing off the battle for 3rd place. Stovall trying to make a passing move, able to make clear his way past Joshua Kanata from the lead, now back in 4th place, just showing, hey, maybe taking that top spot early on, not worth it. As it was fun, probably have that pull in the air, but now you're stuck in traffic with all these drivers slicing and dicing their way forward. And it's going to be the part of the race. We're now 12 laps in of seeing those that protected their tires are going to be rewarded, able to make these passes a little bit easier, but you got to make sure you don't cross over that line of being too aggressive with these older tires. I mean, Zach, I feel like a lot of drivers have been learning a lot more with these older cars as well. Some of the newer cars, sliding is a factor that could really hurt yourself in the long run.
No doubt. You have that slide and tire temperatures spikes. I can tell you just from looking at some of the telemetry tools they have on iRacing and looking at data, anytime you get sideways, not only are you heating up the rear tires, but when you're trying to correct that car, you're also scrubbing the front tires, which surprisingly will also heat up the surface. So, and anytime you get heat, you get tire pressure buildup, and tire pressure gaining is not good because you exit that great grip window that you start with at these tires. So it is definitely a situation you got to manage the tire heat, and sliding is not one of those. Just look at that Stovall going all the way to the bottom there, and he's going to cover off that bottom line. That Thomas Screenwriter is going to have to deal with that dirty air, and now he's going to get ganged up here on this outside as they're going to try to go around him.
As the outside groove, having the draft working as one, moving forward and clearing. Look at some of the bigger movers inside of our top 10. We've got ourselves Michael Miller back in 10th place. He's up 5 positions from where he started. Justin Sipes has now fallen all the way back down to the battle for 8th place with Ollie Fonseca. That's now up 3 spots for himself, making this pass on the 30 machine. And other drivers have moved up. Thomas Green up 3 spots. Also Joshua Stovall in 3rd. He's up 3 spots. Ryan Kelly is up 2 positions. But some drivers that we maybe expected to make some big moves, well, here he is. Cody Reed at one moment fell all the way back to 20th position with a big slide to start this race off. Coming out of turn number 2, now up to 10th place, up 9 positions from where he started.
It's impressive to see him gain this much here, especially after a big slide like that and starting back there in 19th. So Cody Reed definitely on the mission right now. He'll have Justin Sipes next in front of him, which is about a half a second up the road. And I can tell you this much, Sipes right now probably the car that might be struggling of at least the top 10, top 15 drivers. The driver's struggling the most right now when it comes to lap time. So this 80 trying to find the speed to keep these drivers back, but I think the 88, the 99, the 66 all will be here at some point catching up. It's big slide up front for Stovall.
Stovall also going to be Kanata. Big slide off the exit of turn number 4 as they were getting inside of the wall, getting into one another. 4 wide as Kanata falls back. Huge loss of time for 3rd on back. Able to finally get rolling, though. Still going to be 3 wide. That's going to be the 08 of Anderson. Cedric Hunter pouncing up the middle, getting close to the 1. And Stovall looks uncomfortable and will attempt having another driver to his inside.
Some great racing going on, but I tell you what it's doing is allowing Ryan Kelly and Sora to drive into the sunset. You just see Sora way up there. Kelly is still right there. Cedric Hunter looks like he'll get that pass done, but it's now Thomas Green trying to slide his way through, but almost contact being made as even Cedric Hunter there flirting with the wall on the exit.
And talking to some of the drivers, tightness into the long run, probably going to be the main factor of watching out for. And with these type of big tracks, Cod-O-Club, Michigan, some of the mile-and-a-half tracks where it's really tight and it's tough to make passes off the exit of the corner, that's when danger can happen where you're 2 wide, 3 wide. Drivers can close up to that outside wall, close up into one another. That's when we can see a lot of these big wrecks happen. Now, there is no stage racing if you're just joining us for the first time with the Trinity Racing League, and maybe you've seen some of our other leagues that we've covered. No stage racing. This race could go green from the start to the end without any caution, but that's if the drivers can play nice. As you can see right now, Joshua Stovall, that one machine looks very uncomfortable, especially off the exit of turn 4.
Definitely does, and he is defending for his life right now for this position because he knows it is just not going his way right now. He's starting to see the drivers in front of him start to drive away, so to say, and I think right now he's going to take defense mode, just defend that outside line, because right now you can see big move being made by Joshua Kanata, because 3 wide here with Thomas Green, who's going to back out of it and slide back as Ali Fonseca is starting to make his charge even up here. As at 24, he's shown a lot of pace this season along with the 650 car.
I was trying to look at the past of this season. Now, there haven't been a lot of big updates to this Xfinity car throughout the season, like we've seen in other leagues where halfway through you might see a big swing and change. And I was kind of lingering at Chicagoland. That's the track that Ali Fonseca found himself into victory lane. Now, that was a race where Vincent Sora was the most dominant car, but it was due to 2 pit stop mistakes that forced the 15 to lose out on that victory. And Ali Fonseca took a chance and found his way into victory lane with some very aggressive, consistent driving, pushing up, being more and more inside of our top 3, challenging for the lead spot. Now, other drivers that were a part of that group, Anderson, Cedric Hunter, Chris Stitz. Now, Stitz is back in 13th here tonight, but Ali Fonseca, Anderson, Cedric Hunter, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Watch out for those drivers as they continue to try to close up on our top 2.
Definitely think Chicagoland, in my opinion, Sam, is very comparable, so I think these drivers can definitely take some of that knowledge. So not surprised to see some of those drivers doing well, but you see Fonseca has made the pass, but it was Thomas Green who did get to the right rear quarter panel of the one, but could not get up alongside him. Now he'll look to the inside, and look at this. I talked about Justin Sipes struggling going backwards. Well, it seems like his tires have his second life because he's got back up to this pack now, and he's actually running some very quick times.
Trying to look back and see what maybe happened, but it looks like for Isaac Reimer, his night is done. He just simply pulled off into pit road and called it an evening. Wasn't the speed he was hoping for. And the 77 will be our first DNF of the evening. And helps Jared Talmadge. He won't be the last driver to finish here tonight, but obviously for the rest of the field, you were kind of hoping to see a lot of these drivers trying to finish out this race as Aaron Kralik up into the outside wall.
Oh yeah, a lot of drivers getting into that wall. There goes
Whoa,
Stovall.
Stovall, the one machine, down to the inside, keeps it off the wall. He scoots his way around, and now onto the racing surface. He keeps it low. We keep it green. But the one from defending to be inside of our top 5 to now outside of our top 15, down to 19th position, and no caution being thrown. A nightmare for the one, but all of that flirting with disaster finally came to an end.
Yeah, and it was some contact. I went back and looked, and I think we'll get a look here at it here. You see the one of Stovall all over the back of the 3 of Thomas Green here, entering 1. This is not actually where the contact is going to be made. It's going to be off of 2 here, down the back straightaway. And Stovall's going to be running this middle groove, kind of right in the dirty air in the 3. So probably not getting the greatest of runs here. Going to slide up the track, kind of open up the door just a little bit, and the 80 goes for that little hole. And unfortunately, it is what causes this one to spin across his nose, and next thing you know, Stovall's going around spinning here on the inside.
Dealing with some major left side rear damage after all that contact. A little bit of front right damage with getting close to the outside wall. And oh, you hate to see for the one machine, who now is banking on a caution, being now 18.5 seconds off the lead pack, almost 9 seconds away from the next closest driver to him. And now we move our sights up to battle for 3rd place. Cedric Hunter, Jackson Anderson, Ali Fonseca, all in line and all trying to push together. And they are slowly catching up to Ryan Kelly. That's just on his lonesome, trying to find his own setting point. But I do want to drop back to a place that could be possibly bringing out a caution. That's the battle for 12th position. We've got about 4 or 5 drivers on top of one another. They're going to be 3 wide. They're going to be 4 wide. It's going to be seen Michael Miller as well as Stitz in the middle. Noah Steele on the inside. Sipes all the way on the outside group. Still 4 wide heading down into turn number 1. And it's going to be seen Miller and Steele looking good. Stitz trying to throttle up, but the 99 was the one that sneaked his way through the middle, and will get a little bit of help from the 17 onto the backstretch.
Sipes into the wall at the exit 2. That allows Kralik and the 14 of Jesse Thorne up here to make the pass to the inside, and now they're stacking up even more. Cody Reed defending to the middle. Noah still to the bottom. Michael Miller to the outside, and Chris Stitz looks like he's got a lot of paces. Noah still cuts across the nose there. That was close.
And to see this top view of all the drivers bobbing and weaving, the 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide moves all around. And Cody Reed holds for 10th. Miller trying to find an opening, but Chris Stitz wants to move forward, but stuck on the inside. There's just not enough time to accelerate off the exit of the corner as Miller. A little bit of a slide. Going to get the bump from the 8 machinist Steele as they move on, utilizing the draft, utilizing the bump draft. And Eric Kralik now going to force the issue to go 3 wide down into turn number 3 as the 01 trying to not just lose the momentum that you build up. But Zach, sometimes those big moves can just cost you as Kralik goes from potentially just following the group to let's try 4 wide again.
Wow, this is great racing back here for around that 12th position, and these drivers are going at it, folks. So enjoy this right here as Kralik's going to rip the top now, and you're going to see Noah Steele all by and lonesome down on the bottom. He's going to be enjoying that, at least for having no dirty air, but going to have to come up here on the exit of the corner and have to deal with that long draft line on the outside, and that is where it gets very tough to pass on the bottom.
Stick in line, Kralik to the inside once again, trying to get to the inside quarter panel of the 17 of Stitz, not able to do so. Miller accelerating on the outside, and that's a huge run for the 99 machine. We can get some draft help from the 88 of Cody Reed, could help pull him along as they'll still stay just a quarter panel to the inside of Stitz. As they fight back and forth, this 2 wide action continues on. Again, this is all battling from 10th on back, but up front, starting to get a little bit of more action for the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, as Cedric Hunter no longer wants to wait and linger in 4th position. He wants to fight for 3rd and potentially for 2nd place.
Cedric Hunter told me tonight coming into this race, he felt very confident. He felt like Auto-Club was one of his better tracks in this Xfinity car, and it's definitely showing up here tonight. Is he's been very strong on the long run and intermediates all throughout this season, but I think tonight maybe showing a little bit more strength here as now they're all tucked up right here behind Ryan Kelly, as Anderson and both Hunter both look a little quicker than this 30 car right now.
As again, drivers here tonight, we've been green for the first 28 laps of this race of 110, as on the outside, Kelly and Anderson get into one another as the 30 and the 08, just a small tap there. And ultimately, Kelly will take that position for now. Anderson all the way down to the apron. But is it too much that he's giving up with the small bickering fight with a 30 machine? Hunter takes the inside, 2 for 1. This is a little bit of deja vu from Classic Hunter Racing as Cedric Hunter to the inside trying to take this 2nd place position away. And just like that, a nose ahead, now making almost a full car length ahead as he drops down low into turn number 2.
I know Cedric was sitting there looking at that situation going, that is a perfect opportunity to get this pass done, and he took advantage of that right there as the 08 tried some big maneuver there, but just unfortunately it slowed both he and the 30 up, and that allowed that 13 to make the big move from pretty far back on the inside. So Cedric Hunter now up to 2nd, and we'll see what he can do with some clean air because he looked pretty quick there for a few moments.
He certainly did, and we'll keep our camera sights on this battling for 10th on back. Still going to be Stitz battling with one another as well as a few others trying to find their footing outside of the top 10. And Stitz, Reed, almost contact, still 3 wide even behind them. As also update on the battling up front, Ryan Kelly has lost out on the battle for 2nd and 3rd. He will fall to 4th, but we keep our cameras here. It's Stitz trying his best to try to close in on Larry Yingling head as well as Campbell and Zach. I mean, I'm more shocked on the fact of Campbell and Larry Yingling. Yes, they're inside of the top 10, but nowhere close to the battle for that 2nd place position.
No, they're just not having the greatest nights here so far. I mean, something may pop up here later where they're allowed to have that opportunity. But right now, through this first run, they're both about almost, just over 5 seconds and almost 6 seconds for Larry Yingling back from leader Vincent Sora. And Campbell running lap times actually very, very quick, where could be looking to go completely forward, but Larry Yingling still lap time wise not looking the greatest.
Not looking the greatest. And I think the most shocking thing is looking at the pace and looking at the times. Vincent Sora over 2.5 seconds ahead of second place, where we find the 13 of Cedric Hunter trying to continue to build on this gap. You see Campbell as well as Joshua Kanata, who once was leading this race, now falling over almost 5 seconds behind Vincent Sora at this time. But I'm curious about when drivers will pit. Zach, we're 32 laps in. We've been clean and green this whole time. 2 miles is a long time to race around this track. Were you given notes on when you expected pit stops, or are we just kind of guesstimating on how far these drivers can go?
I'm personally thinking around this 36 to 37 mark. I don't see nobody making this race into a one stop. I don't think we have the fuel to go that far. So I think you're going to need to make this race, of course, a 2-stop. And I think you could see early pit stops maybe happen around 34. So here in 2 laps, you could see some drivers maybe take their early undercut availability, because they should have a little bit of extra fuel to stretch out one of the other stints. But I think a lot of drivers are going to go around that 36, 37, maybe even 38 marker, just to give them a little bit more headway later in this race. So it really just depends on how aggressive you want to get on that strategy.
Some of the drivers on the radio trying to communicate, hey, when are you thinking about going into the pits? There's going to be a lot of communication with these drivers being so on top of one another. Some bump drafting with one another, some trying to fan out. You're on the inside, you're in the preferred place to head into pit road, but the drivers might be stuck on the outside groove trying to find an opening to get down low as they continue to fight back and forth. This is for 10th place, Stitz, Kralik, Steele. I mean, we've seen Kralik into the wall maybe 4 or 5 times already here tonight. Still has some decent pace to keep him close to this battling for 11th position. Steele also trying to keep it close, as Noah Steele currently entering tonight tied with 5th in points. And I feel like we really haven't talked about this 8 machine as much as maybe he deserves to be talked about. No wins so far, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Hasn't led a lap yet, but Noah Steele's consistency. This is a track that he's won in the past in the ISRC Truck Series. That was our previous Monday Night Racing. I think he's probably going to be a driver that expects to try to surge forward later on in this race, as Ryan Kelly will be our first driver to hit pit road, as Fonseca and Green battle back and forth for 4th place.
This is a big battle here, but right before the pit stops happen, if you can jump ahead of that driver, just open up a gap, so to say, and get a few laps there, it allows you to have that delta when you come back to battle later. So this is an important battle between these two, but we'll see how it shakes out as they get down the back straightaway. And even right here, you got the battle going on for 4th and 5th. Well, you got the battle for 2nd and 3rd going on too. Is Jackson Anderson going to make the pass on Cedric Hunter? And he's showing a lot of strength right now, running some of the quickest laps on the racetrack.
And Cedric Hunter not even wanting to fight that. He just gives up that position and able to now just get in line, get towed across. And, when you have a driver that's running so much faster than the driver ahead, it's almost kind of more useful to stay in the draft. I think that's something that we don't see a lot anymore, is drivers willing to kind of tow along. Will that let that driver behind you kind of be the driver that tows you to maybe a better position, or even run faster than you are right now?
And I think that's just a great thought from Cedric Hunter there, to drop behind the way. No reason to really battle too hard. If they do that, they allow the drivers who are about 1.5 seconds back here to gain on them, and that only makes the battle closer. And in my opinion, if you can latch onto the back of Jackson Anderson, maybe he can carry up the Vincent Sora. You never know. So that is a smart veteran move from the 13 for sure, and showing he's been around iRacing for a long time. But look at this, Ryan Kelly going by on those new tires. He flew by those guys in 3.
Yeah, it is going to be a quick burst to get around, as some of the drivers' fastest lap times in the low 40-second markers. Currently, drivers are running about 2 seconds slower than their fastest times. So if you got fresh rubber, you're going to be flying by. Currently, those that have already pitted, Ryan Kelly, Noah Steele, are the first 2 just exiting pit road here shortly. Going to be Aaron Kralik, as the rest of the field has to make the decision. Do you pit now? Do you pit later? When is this option for yourself, as Justin T. Campbell now marching into 4th place for himself, as Ollie Fonseca now going to be heading into pit road. Frolic leaving his box. 24 enters, and looking at drivers that are going to be trying to unlap themselves. Ryan Kelly should unlap himself here in the next 2 laps if we continue to stay green.
That's for sure. How big the pace delta is, he will be there very, very quickly. So that's something you always think about when you pit here a little early, is trying to get back to the leader just to unlap yourself, so if that caution was to fly under the sequence. So we'll see Fonseca come down here, and his was at the completion of lap 37 here, starting lap 38 for him, and I think that is really kind of the perfect window to pit. So I like this strategy from the 24. Come down, get your pit stop done, and maybe come out in some clear track to be able to get away from that battle that he was in.
And we saw there for a quick glimpse, Jared Talmadge 2 laps down. He needs this pit cycle to go clean all the way through and then have a caution. He must be the first driver to go 1 lap down to be given the Lucky Cod Award. Otherwise, you're going to be just stuck being 2 laps down throughout this whole entire cycle. So Jared Talmadge really stuck in a tough position as the field continues to race on, about to be completing lap 39 to start lap 40 for the Trinity Racing League, presented by Larry Arts Production. You're watching Season 1 Chase Race number 4 out of 5, the Cod-O-Club 220 under green flag pit stops currently underway, as only a handful of drivers have pitted so far. Everyone else really pushing the issue, trying to stay out as long as possible. And Zach, I'm looking at the numbers. Again, it's the halfway bonus point I think some of these drivers could get rewarded with if you're pitted already by building up such a gap. You might be able to be the leader at the end of lap 55 and get that 1 bonus point, where Ryan Kelly currently would be that first driver to take that bonus point for himself. I'm curious for the rest of the field, though, as Michael Miller ducks low over the driver's chat. He's marching in saying, hey, I'm heading to pit road. I think a few other drivers might be heading in this lap as well.
Sora, our leader, will be coming this time. Looks like Cedric Hunter's going to stay out. Jackson Anderson is going to stay out. It's Chris Stitz up, who's up to 4th, who just got by Joshua Kanata. He's going to stay out. So we're seeing a few drivers stay out, but a lot coming down this time with Vincent Sora leading the way.
And a big thing of note, do not get caught speeding. That is a big thing. You can throw away your race if you get caught speeding. It's a 40-second hold in pit road after you've gotten your service done, as they're going to be 3 wide, seeing Noah Steele, who already got pitted for himself, going to be driving on through. Same for the one of Joshua Stovall, trying to utilize those tires as Cedric Hunter. Ale Fonseca very close to contact as Fonseca was just ripping his way forward, and Cedric Hunter with the unorthodox way to get in the pit road that lap, as Mark Labertone speeding for his box. The 44 will have a 40-second hold.
Tough break there for Mark Labertone. It's so easy to do when you're pushing the limits here under these green flag stops to get that speeding penalty. So he'll have to come back around, or have to serve that 40-second penalty. As you see Michael Miller here leaving pit road, and this is a crucial factor too, folks. You don't get to see a lot of times. This apron could be the place where you make or break some of your passes, carrying good speed around there, and also just, not making the mistake of crossing that white line, because that is a penalty. So you got to be very, very careful when you exit pit road.
As we still have 7 drivers that need to make their pit stops. That's Jackson Anderson, Chris Stitz, Joshua Kanata, Larry Yingling, Jesse Thornock, Cody Reed, Chris Stitz. Going to be those 7 drivers now in the pit road. Going to be Anderson as well. Going to be seeing Cody Reed, Thornock, all going to be coming in pit road, the 3 of them, leaving us with 4 drivers that still need to pit. Actually make that 15 drivers, as back in 15th, Joshua Stovall still also needs to make a pit stop, which he's got in the different position than the 27 of going to be Jared Talmadge, of needing a pit stop after his big slide and wreck that did not bring out a yellow. As more drivers heading into pit road, still it's Stitz leading the way, as he now has to take it wide. 4 drivers altogether heading into pit road now.
Yeah, they will, and they have Joshua Stovall right there in the mix with them, all coming here to pit road, and Kanata going to be that second car behind them. So we'll see how this works out with this longer, strategy here, so to say, because if, they come out of pit road here, we get a caution in a couple laps, it could be a huge benefit.
As looking at lap times, Zach, Ryan Kelly pitted 8 laps, about to be 9 laps ago. Vincent Sora pitted 2 laps ago. And Vincent Sora is running about a half a second faster than that 30 machine, just showing there is already a massive tire fall off between those that pitted at the beginning of this cycle compared to those that waited till the middle of this cycle and it is going to be a big surge between the 30 and the 15. Currently, it is a 5-second difference. 3 laps ago, it was an 8-second difference between those two drivers and where they were on track. And for Ryan Kelly, I don't believe he's going to be the leader by the time that we get to that halfway bonus point for leading at the halfway. That could go to the 15 if we continue to stay clean and green.
Yeah, I think it's very unlikely he holds into it by 55. So we'll see his old score as we hop on board with our championship leader. I think he just got in the wall pretty good right there. But luckily, I will say these cars are composite body, so it doesn't really damage anything unless you really hit that thing hard enough to hurt the suspension. So he's done a good job, and it's pretty clean, even though getting a little scuff with the wall there.
Yeah, a little scrape. I think most of the vehicles can take a little bit of a scrub. It's like you said, those hard contacts when it's not a flat like pancake tap that you're giving. If it's more of an angle, then you can find yourself in trouble to deal with. But these drivers, it's a race to see who can catch up to Kelly, and Sora seems to be the driver that will be the closest. As the field has finished out their first green flag pit stops of the night, we will take our first commercial of the evening. I want to say thank you so much for joining with us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You're watching the Trinity Racing League presented by Larry Arts Production. Season 1, Chase Race 4 out of 5. Your Cod-O-Club 220 is underway. Will we continue to stay clean and green? Let's find out. As we take a commercial break, we'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Trinity Racing League presented by Larry Arts Production on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You're watching Chase Racing action. Race 4 out of 5 for the Cod-O-Club 220. Currently, Vincent Sora just making the pass for the lead, getting by that orange 30, Ryan Kelly. The tire difference, it's still about 6/10 is the difference each and every lap. Vincent Sora is flying right now, which, as we were watching under the commercial break, a lot of drivers having their back and forth, but one coming to a giant wreck. The 08 of Jackson Anderson, as well as the 66 of Justin T. Campbell, racing side by side on this replay. This was right when we went to commercial break, but Zach, no caution, and these two drivers are out.
They were going at it, Sam, for sure, and unfortunately it came to that, and right there, the 66 just shot up into the 08, and I mean, that just destroyed both the races. Look at them, both hard hits to the inside wall, destroyed cars, both having a tow to pit road, and night's over. So just a hard racing incident down here, and man, it was a weird situation. The 66 just seemed like he lost all front grip and just went straight.
Yeah, both drivers very much adamant over the radio, being frustrated and irritated at the way that this whole entire race in situation went down. Both heavy contacts. That's one of the worst spots you can make contact for the 6'6 of Justin T. Campbell. But Campbell still sits in pit road trying to get damage repair. Anderson officially out of this race. Another driver that got knocked out while all this was happening was Justin Sipes in the 80 machine, as he was trying to prepare for his way into pit road. Got into the outside wall, overcorrected with a big loose moment, and then found his way heading into pit road. And just calling it a night for himself, as the field all getting ready for the end of the first half. Crazy to say, Zach, that was all the racing action that's happened in the first half. We've been clean and green all the way through, as we are about to have our Apex 50 halfway bonus point. Looking for some fun, relatable racing content, we'll head on over to Apex 50 on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, as well as on Twitch, to go check out some great content from Samuel S. Garcia. Now, Samuel's not out there on track, but I know he's proud of the way that he's been working at his social media works. He just hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, and he is continuing to grow with some of the funniest contents of his high moments and his low moments of sim racing. As your halfway bonus point leader will be the 15 of Vincent Sora. Congratulations on getting another bonus point for himself. And Zach, every bonus point you could possibly go for, this 15 is going to most likely grab at this pace that he's going.
That he is on rails tonight. I think this chase overall, he just wants to make a statement. I mean, last week, of course, he didn't get the victory at Richmond. We see this man right here got it, but you know, there was a tire, so to say, delta that really allowed the 3 to get that lead from the 15, who had been, you know, leading the race, so to say. But man, I tell you what, he is the 15, the 3, both of them have been putting on a performance. But Vince Sora, he is, I think, trying to show that all those championship woes that we've seen here in the past from a few other leagues with him are starting to fade away here, and he's starting to get those consistent, dominant performances back-to-back weeks together.
I think also it helps that he doesn't have the similar thorns in the side that he's had in the past. There's not the Mark Whitley that's out there, his old rival. There's not John Forbes that kind of just stormed over him in the last couple of years. And I think we were assuming that Jackson Anderson could be that next thorn in the side of Vincent Sora, but it just never fully came together after Chicagoland's race ended. Kind of saw that rivalry disappear. And for Vincent Sora, it's been more of the battle of how is he going to kick himself more than is the competition going to get to him. As currently the 15 looking strong. Looking at one of the drivers, this is Zach's pick of a driver here tonight. The 3 of Thomas Green. A lot of outside distractions in moments that we wish didn't happen for Thomas Green, as he's had his woes outside of the racing world, sim racing world for us. But man, this past month has been a reawakening for Thomas Green. It's been fun to watch that 3 really get back to the old groove that we used to see him just a few years ago.
It really is. It is. It's been a season that was tough for him, not only on the racetrack but also tough off the racetrack. So he's definitely, I think, more than likely, really counting his blessings. So it's really good to see he's came back out here, and I'm glad to see Thomas has had the success he's had too. It's really like a cool comeback story here late in the season, and that guy is one of the best competitors out there. And I'm sure again on Wednesday nights he races, and I'm sure we'll see him right in the mix there too. So he's got plenty of opportunities left, but unfortunately wasn't able to make the chase this season. But there's been a lot of guys who've shown a lot in this chase, in my opinion, of kind of growth. And even the Noah Steele, you brought up Noah Steele here as we see on the screen. He's just been, I feel like, such a steady, consistent rock of a driver this season, of never really put himself in too many bad situations and always just getting the most out of his nights.
Yeah, it certainly has been, and it's been great to see the growth of this 8 machine. I think there were times where we thought he was going to be the next rising star, and it just didn't fully come together, but has been trying to find that consistency that helps others. As Joshua Kanata has really proven that that can help you get into racing in finales and being part of championship rounds. I think a lot of drivers have been trying to emulate in that some way. As Kanata ducks down low, this is the closest battle on track. And Kat, we see that yawning emoji out there. We understand these are the type of races that I think for drivers can be a fun strategy call of, okay, how do I want to work my tire strategy to really help me elevate myself? But Zach, it also can kind of be boring at times out there for the drivers themselves when you get this spread out and you're not racing anyone. It's kind of a who's got the better tires is the one that's going to make the pass.
No doubt, yeah. It kind of becomes, so to say, what did I say, stalemate in chess. So it kind of comes a little to a point where sometimes you get spread out enough to where it's like something major's got to happen here for a big swap to happen. And that is sometimes, unfortunately, racing. I mean, I'm a driver myself. I love racing, and sometimes you're going to have boring races, and not every race is going to be the greatest race. But I do think you can take at least the really, I mean, the greatness of the drivers keeping it off of each other, not causing a wreck. So I mean, of course, we've seen the few wrecks that we've had, but it's been a lot of good side by side racing early in this event that could have went wrong early, that didn't, and that's allowed this race to play out naturally. But sometimes those are not going to be the most barn burning, so to say, exciting.
Yeah, I think when you looked at Auto-Club on the schedule, there was a thought of this could be a thrilling race to watch out for. And those first 20 laps of this race were exciting to watch from the guys up front. Majority of that racing, just everyone was on top of one another, was the battle for 10th back to 18th. Everyone being side by side, 2-3 wide. But this is when the strategy calls start to kick in. Mistakes could make your race just crumple. But we are starting to see a few drivers trying to emerge the best that they can. But when you have a race like this is not the race that Stephen Clapp wanted. Now for Stephen Clapp, this has been a season that I gotta say has been remarkable. The fact that he made the chase, was inside of the top 10 in points just based off surviving a lot of big wrecks that were going on in those first eight races of the season. But since the chase started, the cautions have dwindled down to not as many have been happening. And this too has kind of been hurt by it. Currently runs in 13th position. No one's really close to Clapp, but he's doing his best to just continue to race out there and hope on a mistake.
And then we look back to Stovall, who was involved in that incident earlier and spun around. And unfortunately, he's just trying to make the most of what he's got right now, as he's is one lap down. And really hope for that caution, because if the caution does come out, he is ahead of Mark Labertone. And it's going to play out where he would get the lucky dog. So we'll see if something is here to shake up. But it is right now very spread out and going to be a tough situation for a lot of these guys. But I will say there is a battle heating up for around the 6th position, or even around 5th, with Fonseca getting caught by Kralik and Kanata.
Kanata currently with some of the freshest tires of these three, 21 lap old tires compared to the 28 lap old tires for Kralik and the 27 lap old tires for Ollie Fonseca. And it's been the tire game. Whoever's got the fresher tires gets rewarded in the longer that this run goes on. And Ollie Fonseca was able to build up a gap to be in the 5th place position, but this looks to be a losing battle if Kanata can just find the right accelerating moment to utilize these tires to get by that 24. Now the next driver ahead of them would be the 3 machine of Thomas Green, and Green just about 3 lap fresher tires than Canada, and that's about 2.5 seconds the difference. But here we go. Ali Fonseca trying his best to defend, but also as this battle is going on, the battle for second is having a little bit of a change up. Cedric Hunter, who's on 24-lap old tires, has been able to catch Ryan Kelly, has made the pass, and now he's on his charge to try to minimize the gap being lost to Vincent Sora, but it just continues to grow. It's up to 5 seconds, a little bit less than that, but it continues to go back and forth based off where drivers are on the track on who's gaining or losing time. But ultimately, Vincent Sora continues to gain with a little bit over 5 seconds being the gap between first and second. As we're going to take our camera shot back to the battle for 5th place as Joshua Canada has made the pass. A little tap from Molly Fonseca that loses momentum, and now Eric Kralik to the inside with a chance to move up into that 6th place position.
A little scuff of the wall for the 24 there as the 16 got clear. Is now the 01 big checkup right there in the center of the corner. Just couldn't get back to the gas with that dive into the center. And he's going to hold on to 6th for right now. We'll see if Fonseca can fight back. And those two pretty much on equal footing, about 1 lap fresher for Fonseca right here. But it's Canada who's done the excellent job on those much fresher tires to get past both of them and sell his way up here. So Joshua Canada right now has done an excellent job on this run to make the most out of those tires.
For majority of this field, you've got 10 to 15 laps, so you've got to push the fuel, push the tires, get every advantage you can get right now. And I think for majority of the field, they have learned waiting and being one of the last drivers to the pit is the better option if you want to have a good run at the end of this race. I'm curious on the amount of drivers that pitted earlier. Is their strategy call going to change where they have to push everything to empty on this run instead of pitting as soon as they can? Because that undercut looked good for about 2 to 3 laps after the pit cycle was over, but then you just got swamped by everyone else around you.
It is always interesting to see how the pit sequences, file out. And one thing that's been interesting to me is you got like someone like a Larry Yingling, like a Chris Stitz, who's about a second and a half ahead of Larry Yingling. They pit on the same lap as Canada and not far away from him. But on this run, Canada has put 3, almost 4 seconds on them. So he has really done an excellent job with the fresher tires, while Stitz and Larry Yingling, who pit a little later, have not really got the full, extent of the usage out of them. We're starting to see Stitz now really start to make his climb forward, but it is definitely been Joshua Canada, I gotta say, who's done really the most with it.
I think you can probably get that to account of just being more aggressive. I mean, he had a much more aggressive pit entry than those other drivers. He also had a much more aggressive pit exit and just had a shorter time on pit road than all the other drivers around him. Joshua Canada just maximizing on other drivers' mistakes, even with a mistake. I mean, Canada slid through his box for a quick second. Actually had one of the slowest pit stops, but he was on pit lane as a whole, shorter than some of those other drivers, had better stops than him. So just proving he maximized his pace more than everyone else.
He definitely did, so that's for sure. So great job by him right there to get the most out of it. We'll have one more pit stop coming up. If he can do that again, that'll be a big gain as we're riding on board right here with Chris Stitz. He did get past Michael Miller, now set his sights on Noah Steele up ahead, and then Ali Fonseca. And right now Stitz about 2 to 3 tenths quicker too, so we should see this battle start to heat up. So a lot of battles heating up here right outside this top 5 as everybody comes together. And even Thomas Green, he's starting to close down Ryan Kelly, so he's only about a half second back in the 3 machine. So we could see a battle for second with Cedric Hunter not too far away either.
Thomas Green trying his best to close in on this gap. I also want to give a report of 2 drivers that have already pitted with the undercut strategy. One of those being Cody Reed, the other being Larry Yingling, deciding to pit. Cody Reed was 5 laps ago. Yingling is currently under this pass lap. Now Noah Steele going to be following in suit. And these drivers pitting much sooner than I expected, but they all have been out there for about 35 laps. For Noah Steele, for Larry Yingling, though, shockingly, he was only out there for 25 laps. He could have pushed out those tires longer than everyone else, but felt like he wanted to test out the undercut strategy and see if that gets rewarded for the latter half of this race, as Ryan Kelly bobbing and weaving, trying to cut off any type of drafting help that the 3 machine might be getting for himself here on the back stretch. But Thomas Green, just better tires, rolls the top as Ryan Kelly heads into pit road.
Yeah, I think Ryan Kelly there having that little weave down the back straightaway to let that 3-0, hey, I'm coming to pit road. I'm going to be definitely on this bottom side. So we don't see the issues that we've seen play out sometimes, even in real life racing. So the communication can be very, very critical to letting that driver behind you know you're coming to pit road. So he's utilizing what Larry Yingling is doing. So we'll see what this undercut strategy does. As you see Cody Reed on the fresh tires just flying past this group.
Flying by, and for Cody Reed, I think the way that you can just hope that this race transitions into your favor is after this green flag cycle is over, having quick caution come out so you don't lose all this time that you're gaining. As we stay clean and green for 4 laps after the pit cycle is fully completed, this 88, all of his time that he has built up will disappear in a blink of an eye as we are closing in closer and closer to the end of this race. About to be 35 laps to go before this race is over. Pit road and the pit cycle window has opened up. That's why we've had over 5 drivers already make their stop. But I think for a lot of the other drivers that are out there on track, it's how do you build up a big enough run or save your tires for the later half of this race. I think Kanata, he recognized having fresher tires really rewarded him. But how well is this going to help out the rest of the field as Vincent Sora, 5 seconds, almost 5.5 seconds over Cedric Hunter, has been in his own zip code, has only seen lap cars periodically. This has got to be a good feeling for the 15. I mean, Zach, I know that sometimes you like to communicate with some of the drivers, kind of get a sense of what they're feeling throughout a race. What do you think this 15 is feeling right now with having this large lead closing in on the final pit stop of the night?
As the kids would say, he's locked in right now. This kid is, I think, just focusing on completing laps, and until it comes down, is now going to come to pit road, and this is a crucial time. This is where he's got to be, what I would say, the most locked in, because you do not want a speeding penalty, so no major risk here for him. He had that 5-second lead. I think you're going to see him be very, very cautious when it comes to pit road here and try to gain anything he loses back on track, as both him and Cedric Hunter have hit pit road. It's now Thomas Green who's took over the lead, with Joshua Kanata slotting up to second and Chris Stitz into a top 3 spot.
As Vincent Sora had a little bit of blinking issues as he now enters into his box. I think I'm mostly shocked by the Cedric Hunter pit stop. I thought for sure we were going to see that 13th stay out for maybe another 5 to 6 more laps before entering pit road. Instead, he follows in suit with the leader. That means he will have no tire advantage over Vincent Sora, who takes off and is gone. Cedric Hunter going to be following in suit as well, taking off and go. And Zach, if you're Thomas Green, I think this puts you in the best spot if you're hunting to go for that 2nd place finish here tonight. This is perfect for the 3 machine.
It opens up that window for sure. I mean, it gives him a chance to do something different. And I think Cedric Hunter is kind of planning for that. He's pitting a little bit early here to defend and try to hold that position off. I don't think he's too focused on Vincent Sora. He knows how far that gap is. He's going to need some help there for that if he wants any shot to battle that. But I think right now his focus has been on that 30 and defending also that 3, because that's where the battle for the podium is going to be.
And looking at the drivers that went with the early undercut, Cody Reed pitted 12 laps ago, and Zach, Vincent Sora has left his pit box and is still about 8 seconds ahead of Cody Reed. That is how incredibly quick the 15 has been. Even with Cody Reed trying to go with the undercut advantage, it backfired greatly and he did not gain anything. Ryan Kelly with his undercut, he's about to be passed for the lead position of drivers that have pitted already. It is a shocker to see all around as Ollie Fonseca, Chris Stitz, they're going to get their pit stops done and out of the way. Top 4 drivers still need to make their stops. That's Thomas Green, the 99 of Michael Miller, the 14 of Jesse Thornock, and Steven Clapp. Everyone else has made their stop. They're getting ready for the end of this race, where it's going to be 30 laps to go once we get to the end of lap 80. And it is slowly dwindling away. I think everyone knew this could be a long race, but a clean green race, I don't think anyone had that circled up for tonight's running.
And, for some reason I had the weird feeling and weird vibe. It's, Thomas Green, he's got a black flag here on pit road, and he's also missed his pit box and had to back up. So Thomas Green, we talked about him battling for a podium. Tonight, his fortunate runs are going to come to an end.
After winning 2 races in the last 3 races, The backfire does strike and just could not find a way to stay away, and over the radio saying he was just 1 mile per hour over the limit, and that's what caught him for speeding. And a 40-second hold is given to the 3 machine, who's going to be taking off here in the next 20 seconds as Michael Miller still leads the way. Jesse Thornock in second. Stephen Clapp, your top 3, still needing to make their pit stops. Also, Mark Labertone needing to pit, as well as Steven Stovall, who both are 1 lap down. Ollie Fonseca back in 13th position. Really not showing space, but caution flag is out, and that's going to change everything. And it's Joshua Stovall as well. Cody Reed getting into one another.
Oh, this is an unfortunate contact between 2 cars, and this one's a very awkward looking wreck when we get to see this one is right here. Going to bring out that caution, and we talked about Stovall being in the lucky dog spot. He no longer is. It was going to be Mark Labertone now getting the lucky dog.
Mark Labertone, who decided to stay out, is rewarded as he will be the lucky dog recipient, as Cody Reed closing in quickly. Fresher tires than the one of Joshua Stovall. They had over a 24 lap difference on tires. Cody Reed staying on the outside seam, looking good. Stovall throttles up, not clear, and contact is made on that second seam. Just looking like Stovall throttles up, doesn't have the grip to stay down low, expecting the 88 to go higher, and the contact's made. That gets the 88 spun around in our first caution of the day. Well, Kat, you were yawning. Well, it's time for the excitement to ramp back up because everyone's expected to head into pit road. 4 tires and fuel. And Mark Labertone, Thomas Green, they're going to have to take the wave around for themselves, and this will help out the 3 as long as nobody stays out, but there is a chance that someone could risk it.
Someone definitely could risk it, so we'll have to see how that works out. But pit road is definitely going to be calling the names of, I'd say, 99% of the field if someone does this down. As you see Thomas Green, of course, he's going to try to take wave here. But now they'll come to pit road, and look at this. Michael Miller, Jesse Thornock, Stephen Clapp here leading them down as, it flashed on our screen for a second there, black flags, but they went away.
I believe that could have been passing under yellow flags that were given out due to someone being slower. I think that one might have been the penalty that was given out for a lot of those drivers, but everyone heading into pit road. Thomas Green staying out to get the lucky dog spot, and he pitted right at the time of caution. So for the 3 machine, it's practically like he already pitted with fresh tires that he has underneath him.
That it is, and unfortunate for him, if he didn't get that penalty, it would have been a really good scenario for him because he could have just stayed out and went to the lead, but now he's got to take the wave, started to tail him along this line. So it won't be the, it is a, so to say, it bailed him out moment here with this caution, but still, it could have been a much more gain to this opportunity if he would have had that caution play out like it did for him if he didn't get that speeding penalty.
Well, it's going to be seeing a wave around given to the 3 machine. Mark Labertone still 1 lap down. You're also going to be seeing Joshua Stovall 1 lap down. Out of this race is going to be Jared Talmadge, Jackson Anderson, Justin Campbell, Justin Sipes, and Isaac Reimer all have left the session to call it a night as the field gets ready for the choose. We have not seen the choose be used here this evening, but drivers have the opportunities coming to the 1 to go marker of either staying to the outside or going to the inside. You don't have to follow what we call our black box. It's an icon that kind of tells you where you need to place yourself. Instead, you get to choose, and for some drivers, you can get rewarded with a lot of track position, but maybe not the optimal lane to be in. Others stick with the optimal lane and hope that they get rewarded with maybe a better launch out of exit on the exit turn 2. But Zach, here we go. Do you stay on the racing surface or to the apron? Your cutoff line is that white line from the track surface to the apron. And it looks like it's going to be an even split up and down as our top 2 decided to take just 2 tires of Larry Yingling and Chris Ditz.
I did like that call. I mean, hey, if these cars, we talk about a lot of people fighting that tight balance. These are the older style cars of iRacing here. Right side tires really seem to help loosen that up. So maybe that will help a little bit of their balance and also give that 67 and 17 the first time tonight, the first sniff of clean air, because those 2 have been mired back outside the top 10 for the majority of the night. It took a while for them to really break into the top 10. And
this is going to be the first time Vincent Sora is not in the top 3. He has been up front all night long. He's going to be starting on that 3rd row with Cedric Hunter as well as Vincent Sora 5th and 6th position. Up front, those that stayed out, Larry Yingling, Chris Ditz, and Jesse Thornock, they decided to come into pit road. 2 tires for our top 2. Everyone else, 4 tires in fuel. Back on the lead lap is just going to be Thomas Green, Mark Laptone, and Stovall, both 1 lap down. They need a caution to get back into the mix here. But up front, Larry Yingling, Chris Ditz, Ying Yang Racing drivers, get ready to take us back to the green. Less than 30 laps to go. If you've been waiting for the action to begin, well, here it is. Who's got the tires? Who's got the patience? Or is all pure chaos and go? As your Cod-O-Club 220 is back underway. Stitz with a wheel spin. It goes high, but enough space to drop down low to defend Ryan Kelly as teammates of Ying Yang Racing. Now going to be 1, 2, 4 as Jesse Thornock will stay low for the 14. But all the scattering begins. Here we go. Zach off the exit, turn 2.
This is going to get wild now. We're going to see what Vincent Sora can do because he's been up front all night. Like you said, he's mired back in that 6th spot. And the rest of the field also going wild as Cody Reed's going around off the nose of Aaron Crowley.
Off of Kralik goes the 88. Caution is out, and it's Cody Reed once again being tossed around. And Mark Labertone, as long as he didn't get an incident point, the 44 expected to get the lucky dog spot, or will it be Stovall? They both were close at the time of yellow. But Cody Reed not happy over the radio. And here's the reason why. 3 wide, and he's going to be the bowling pin. He's going to be the pinball machine as he will be tossed around in the middle. And away goes the 88, bringing out our 2nd caution of the day.
That was some very aggressive racing between this group. And you're going to see here on the restart, Reed, look at him get right to the right rear quarter panel of the 01. Stick it in the middle here, 3 wide, and that's going to really put Aaron Kralik in a tough position, but he's going to start to slide up here a little bit, make contact with the 88. That shoves the 88 up into the 99, causing him to bounce back down to the 01. Then the 01's going to come up here to do a little side draft, get a little too much of it, of course, and make the contact to the left rear there. And I think just unfortunately spin Cody Reed around there. So that's tough for Reed because that was a good move being made to go to the middle 3 wide there, but just unfortunately kind of the pinball in that situation.
Run around and away he goes as 88 now gets the decision. Do I want to take a set of tires? Because everyone now is pitted at least 2 to 3 times here tonight. The option of using your final set will be the question of note due to how well we saw just having a 5-lap difference, let alone a 3-lap difference on tires. I mean, taking a set right now seems like maybe a little bit too much, but get another quick caution. You might want to take that set to get the advantage.
That's for sure. We get another quick caution here. I think you can see pit road get pretty busy. So we'll see. I mean, we had a couple guys come down. Looks like Thomas Green's going to come down here. So he's got an extra set because, remember, he just took this set previously before. I think he might take this set off and have a little bit of a tiny advantage now over others. And you also have Stovall come down who I believe, still is 1 lap down.
As he will be stuck 1 lap down, Mark Labertone will take the Lucky Con Award for himself here tonight. As if you're just joining us, well, it is starting to ramp up as we had over 80 laps of clean and green racing before we were finishing up our green flag pit cycle for the 2nd time. Cody Reed got tossed around and bringing out our 1st caution. We just had our 2nd where Cody Reed got spun around for the 2nd time. And now we get ready for this restart. Top 2, last time we pitted 4 laps ago, took 2 tires. Everyone else took 4. Stovall going to be getting service done for the 1 machine. Finally able to get damage repair. I think it's the big thing for the 1 that he is happy about this caution. Maybe was hoping to get the lucky dog spot, but at least has time to get some of that damage that he collected in that 1st spin that didn't bring out a yellow.
Oh, for sure. And you know the race is about to be really crazy now, so yellow flags could become prevalent with some moves being made by these drivers, knowing that it is getting down past the crunch time. So we'll see what that decision is made from them. But Ying Yang Racing right now, the top 1, 2, 3 positions, and right now the caution playing out very strongly, in my opinion, for them because Larry Yingling and them on the 2 tires. It is not only benefiting them losing these green flag laps, but also cooling down those other side of the left side tires to kind of normalize that difference between the right and lefts.
as the field gets ready, 2 by 2. As the field gets ready for this restart. Thank you so much to everyone that's joining with us. If you're able to chat and comment on the broadcast, you'd love to hear who are you rooting for. I know a couple of people, based off who we've watched throughout the years in our comment setting, we have assumptions of who you're rooting for. We know Kat is wanting another caution to help Stovall get back onto the lead lap. I know a couple of other people. We've seen Larry Arts Production himself rooting for Cody Reed, as well as Ali Fonseca. Curious on if there's any new people out there in chat. Who are you hoping to root for? As just getting word, Aaron Krolick in the 01 given an end-of-the-line penalty due to not having a valid shoes as he was on the white line at the time of crossing the start-finish line. We also got some people rooting out there. The Pinball 25, that's Cody Reed's dad, Lenny Reed, rooting for Cody Reed, wanting to see if that 88 machine can get rolling. We also have Josh rooting for Chris Stitz. Hey, there's a chance. Stitz, who's been back in 12, can he make a turnaround, or are we stuck to seeing these drivers falter backwards with making the 2-tire call? Let's find out. Pace car making the hard left-hander to pit road. Rest of the field ready for the Cod-O-Club 220 to get back underway. It's Yin Yang Racing 1, 2, 3 as we are green. Once again, another little bit of a slide by the 17 to Stitz. It's going to be seen Larry Yingling with a great launch for himself moving forward. And here we go, Zach, as the field roars down into turn number 1.
Great restart for Ryan Kelly, who's going to be that first driver on the 4 tires along with Cedric Hunter. So they maneuver up the 2nd and 3rd, but Stitz fights back around the outside. And he's going to make this a tight fight, as here's Jesse Thornick doing a great job running up in the top 5, as he's still got Vince Asora back mired in 6th. The Cedric Hunter comes wide to the inside.
Cedric Hunter not wanting to wait any longer. He's going to make the pushing move for 2nd place. They're going to be stacking up 3 wide. It's a wall for Vincent Sora. Jesse Thornick can get down and get it 4 wide if he can find the opening for the 14, but everyone gets stacked back up 2 by 2. Larry Yingling finding the space, but it's teaming to Chris Stitz. Doesn't want to wait any longer. He'll now slide it 2 by 2, still down into turn number 1. Jesse Thornock holding strong on the outside in that 2nd row, trying to find his footing to go forward. Ryan Kelly still looking strong. And Zach, I gotta say, these drivers that took 2 tires, that's Chris Stitz, Larry Yingling, they're looking good at this moment compared to those that took 4.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think Stitz is even in a better position. He's been quicker than the 67, who's going to get a tap from the 14 of Thornock. Is going to put him 4 wide here off the exit of turn number 4. Who's going to be able to make it? Looks like they're all going to be able to do it so far, as now Ryan Kelly's going to have to block the top side of Jesse Thornock as they're all stacked up with Stitz trying to pull away.
Still going to be 4 by 4 all the way through this group. It is going to be seeing Jesse Thornock, Larry Yingling, Vincent Sora, Cedric Hunter. Sora going to be trying to push his way forward, and it is a good push by the 15. Jesse Thornock, though, on the outside, keeps his foot on the throttle. They're now going to fan out to 3 wide instead of 4. Sora able to clear Cedric Hunter. He'll keep it 2 by 2, as now it's Jesse Thornock. That outside run was so strong for the 14. But going to be seeing Cedric Hunter. Can he fight back? Or is this all Vincent Sora, as Michael Miller had his surge to the wall? Doesn't work for himself. He'll graze the wall at the exit of turn 4. But all still Stitz, Kelly, Jesse Thornick, not the top 3 we were expecting to see this late in the run, with 20 now making 19 laps to go.
Wow, this race is getting exciting. Vincent Sora's stacked up on that bottom inside. It's tough to make passes, and Thornick doing a great job just running that outside line to keep it alongside this 15. The 14, I mean, I've been up here all night long, and it's just right here, holding it right here against these guys, and that is impressive to see. As now Sora dives it again to the inside, but it's Ryan Kelly who's going to be fighting it back, but it's Sora's going to try to slide that spot. He will hold on to it right now, as it's a huge stack up on the floor.
Huge stack up, but luckily everyone keeps it together. Now Cedric Hunter bouncing the inside quarter panel of the 14, looking like a ghost machine. He's the 14 of Thornock. It's so easy to see that gray as Hunter dives it down low, trying to get to the inside quarter panel of Vincent Sora. Sora able to find the opening to clear his way all the way up to the wall, which helps him keep the momentum, keeps his foot in the throttle. It's so much trust as Ryan Kelly doesn't want to wait any longer. Now he'll duck to the inside to try to get by Stitz, and the 2-tire call, it looks like it's hit its limit. But man, was that a fantastic 5-lap run by Chris Stitz to keep the lead. And that could be another thing of note to watch out for if we get a caution here in the next 5 laps. Taking 2 tires isn't a bad call to keep the lead in track position.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Sam. Yeah, I think if you get a caution here later, you might see more willing to pull the trigger on two, as it just showed it can take off here for a few laps and hold its own. But look at this battle going on as Thomas Green on the freshest tires of anybody, trying to work up the inside here 3 wide after Kralik and Cody Reed just had that contact. Those two are right with each other.
I mean, over our telemetry, it says 3 laps, but it was only about a half a lap of Green Flag Racing, so not as big of an advantage that maybe Thomas Green was hoping for, but that small advantage could help him out in the long run as he's back in 12th place. He hop on board the 16 of Joshua Kanata. At one moment, beginning of this race, was leading at lap 5 to 10 before getting past Vincent Sora. He knows how to get up front. The question is, can he get up there quick enough defend, or is he stuck watching the wall and drivers going back and forth as Vincent Sora and Cedric Hunter are practically using each other up to get through the corners, and Sora now up to second place.
What a move for Vincent. He's going to have a big push from Chris Stitz here down the back straightaway to see if he takes a move here to the inside. But Ryan Kelly is Vincent Sora wants that lead back.
He wants the lead, recognizing how important the clean air is for the 15. Ryan Kelly just not able to keep his foot in the throttle long enough. Now he'll have the draft advantage off the exit of the corner. That's if Stitz stayed in line. Instead, Kelly drops all the way down, trying to side draft the 15. Hold back that momentum that Vincent Sora had. It just wasn't enough. The 15 machine dropping it low. Can he get clear? We will in front of Ryan Kelly. Kelly with the switchback. Not enough speed. He'll have to stay in line.
Vincent Sora wants this championship. He wants this victory. He wants to take home every single dub he can right now, and he is up to the lead and made the passes. Ryan Kelly gave him the little bump down the back straightaway, hoping maybe it sent him off in the corner a little too fast. But Sora just too strong here tonight so far as the racing, calms out front. It's 4 wide farther back.
It may not always be a back-to-back win for Vincent Sora, but if he wins one week, he might lose the next, but he'll come rallying back the week after that. It is a constant fight and battle for Vincent Sora. He's won 6 out of the 13 races entering tonight. If he wins here tonight, it's back to 50% of the races he's ran. He's into victory lane and trying to carry that momentum. Everyone single file inside of our top 9. It's going to be the battling going on for 10th place on back that continue to be 3-4 wide, and they are still duking it out 2-3 wide at the tail end of this group, being led by the 3 machine of Thomas Green. He is muscling his way forward, and Zach, once again, another position being grabbed, and Green's hope for a 3rd win this season is still alive, even with that speeding penalty he got over 20 laps ago.
It definitely still is. Only 1.3 back from the leader, and it's going to have the freshest tires of anybody in this field. So right now, making the pass here on Larry Yingling. Let's see what he can do. As Ryan Kelly and Cedric Hunter, they got into it as Kelly just wiggles all the way down the back straightaway.
Wiggle lost some momentum and time, and Cedric Hunter ultimately will take advantage as he slots his way into 2nd place. As the 13 Hello Kitty machine now will set his sights forward. How do you run down Vincent Sora? Last time we were in this scenario, the 15 just pulled away up to a 5-second gap lead before the green flag pit stops. This go around, you've got 12 laps. How do you catch up to the 15? Do you ultimately push your vehicle to the limit to run him down now? Or do you hope that there's a mistake that you can capitalize later on? Which, Zach, we haven't seen a mistake since Chicagoland by Vincent Sora. It is going to be tough to stop this 15 here tonight.
It definitely is. If you're Cedric Hunter, you're going to have to drive the best laps of your life here if you want to get that 15. We know this 13 wants to come out of here with a victory in this season. Doesn't have a shot at the championship after missing in that first race to start the chase. He is definitely looking, though, to get that victory, but I think he's going to have his eyes also not only set forward, he's going to have them set backwards, because right now the 3 of Thomas Green is on the charge, and he is up to the 6th position past Joshua Kanata. He is looking to maybe get up here and fight for that podium.
And trying to work on that outside groove, but it's been all the passes on the inside for Thomas Green with Kanata right there. There's just not enough spacing to work with, and Ryan Kelly up to the outside wall. Same for Larry Yingling, just losing ground, losing space, and they're continuing to fight for everything they've got. But Thomas Green, that just little bit of extra grip is maximized at this current time. 12 laps to go for Vincent Sora, making 11 as he continues to put lap after lap down. Jesse Thornock trying everything to blow up this 3 as caution flag is out, trouble further on behind, and it's Cody Reed again.
Leave Cody Reed, and oh, that's going to be a huge mess there between him, Stephen Clapp, and the 8 of Noah Steele. It just was a Cody Reed again getting sandwiched in between three cars, really.
And Cody is not happy. He sponsored this race with the Cod-O-Club 220, and he has been involved in every caution here tonight. And it continues on. Once again, here's what broke down as Ali Fonseca trying to find a way to get by the 8 machine and Noah Steele. Not going to be the case. Instead, the 88 going to ramp up with a great speed for himself. Stephen Clapp going to try to give some bump drafting assistance to help that 88 move forward. But the bump drafting kind of turned a little dangerous after entering into turn number 1. The 2 follows in suit. And then Zach, I mean, it's so tough. Cody, I mean, it looks like he just slams on the brake, and Clapp was not expecting it.
Yeah, you know, the 8 was cutting down there, and Reed is trying to stay off of him, so he hits the brake, and then Clapp is already pushing him at that point. And it's kind of moment over as we're going to see a onboard of it. It's probably probably hard for Clapp to see this, but Reed's just unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time, and just kind of got it over.
Yeah, I mean, right here, you've got Clapp, and there's no visibility to even know that was going to happen. I mean, there was a glimpse of the 8 on the outside, and then he disappears. And Cody Reed's then in your bumper. There's not much that can happen there. I know Cody's upset. Steven feels awful. And that's one of those racing moments that you just hate to see. That honestly, it would be so helpful if we had live spotters. But I think even with the live spotter, I don't know if there's enough time to react in that type of a moment. As talking about reacting, well, pit stops are underway, and these are the reacting moments that can make or break your race. Pit road stop, sliding through your box, making the right tire call. Here we go, Zach. Who's taking 2? Who's taking 4? We've seen this past weekend in real life NASCAR racing. Both options can work at Phoenix, but here at Auto Club, taking 2 might work for those first 4 laps, but maybe not the final 2.
Going to be interesting because this is going to be a quite short run here, and we didn't have the most laps on those left sides either, so I think you're going to see a lot of 2-tire calls. I wouldn't be surprised even if you see this 15 here take 2, but so far taking the 2 right sides, and look, he's going to put 4 on, so he's going to actually notice. I think he sat there for fuel.
Sat there, 4 tires and fuel, as he was there for 14.2 seconds. That's your usual duration time for a full fuel run for Vincent Sora. He'll drop to 3rd. Ryan Kelly, Aaron Kralik, 2 tires for them, as well as 2 tires for Larry Yingling, who took 2 tires before that. Yingling is going to be in one of the weird, awkward spots of those left sides have really been used and abused. The right sides are going to be great, but how does his race react? And then everyone from 5th on back, 4 tires and fuel. One of those, Cedric Hunter, to watch out for. Zach, I don't know if you took a look at that Sora pit stop again. Was it 4 tires or was it just fuel?
It was 4 tires. It was. So he's actually had a pretty good 4-tire 14.2 second stop. So coming out 3rd there, 4 tires, I think he is going to be pretty happy with that situation because look at Cedric Hunter, who also put 4 on. He's back in 7th.
And like we've seen, it could be a chance of which lane is going to be the best one to take. And also with the time of this caution, Kat, if you're still in the chat, going to be seen Joshua Stovall finally back on the lead lap as he's getting some damage repair for himself. As the rest of the field making the decision, high-low, it's going to be Ryan Kelly taking the low end, Aaron Kralik taking the top, and Vincent Sora taking low as well. A lot of fast drivers going to the inside, and watch out for the 3. He's back into the mixture as going to be seeing Thomas Green back in 7th place on the inside.
It will be. This will be very, very interesting now to see how the tires work again for 2-tire because, you know, it was, in my opinion, a little bit longer on the left sides there for a few of those drivers, especially Yingling. I mean, he's got super long amount on the left side, so let's see how that thing even fires off right here. So it's going to be wild, and if you're Chris Stitz, I think he's one of the big winners in all this situation. He took 2 tires on the last stop. Now he's on 4 tires in the second row, and he showed a lot of speed on those 2 tires. He did the best of anybody, held his own very much so. So Stitz could be in for the running here also.
I think looking at where drivers were leading the laps, Vincent Sora should have locked up most laps led, has led a lap, got the pole. Incident points, we'll see how that lines up after this race is over. Currently, the fastest lap for your Hot Lap Designs fastest lap goes to Justin Sipes back at lap number 3. We'll see in these final 7 laps. Can someone best the fastest lap time, or is it all about who can get up front? Do you need a mixture of both? Well, let's find out. 2 tires versus 4 as your Cod-O-Club 220 is going to be underway. Green flag out of the air. 7-lap shootout already. Drivers trying to duck it to the outside. This will be Cedric Hunter, who got a great launch for himself. Not going to be the case for Jesse. Going to be for Jesse Thornock, who he'll stay to the outside as 2 wide for the lead. It's Vincent, Sora, Ryan Kelly, and Sora basically looks like he started in first because he already has the lead off the exit turn 2.
Yeah, he does. Big move being made, but it's Ryan Kelly fighting back down the back straightaway. He's going to be able to fight back, but Sora with the side draft here is going to pull him right back alongside. There's going to be an even fight here off the 03.
Who's going to be willing to put a little bit more into each and every lap as off the exit turn number 4. It's going to be seen Ryan Kelly with better movement and run for himself. He'll keep the nose ahead as they cross the line. The 30 will lead that lap, but another 6 laps to go for the rest of the field. Chris Stitz trying to defend the rest of the group from 3rd on back as Thomas Green, Cedric Hunter, Larry Yingling, they're all just stuck in the middle. There's nowhere gap to go as Stitz holds strong for 3rd. The battle for the lead is still side by side. Ryan Kelly losing a little bit of footing there, but Sora all the way down to the apron trying to cut away some of that side drafting to make sure he keeps the momentum forward in the 15. Nose ahead for now, but Kelly's rallying back up the exit turn 4.
Wow, this racing is so wild. Is right here. It's going to be 5 to go here. Auto Club is there side by side for the lead. It's also heating up for about 3rd on back. These drivers know it's go time.
It's go time, but for Ryan Kelly, Vincent Sora, you know it's going to be a clean battle between the 2 of them. Can anyone else shake it up? Still side by side. That last lap led by Sora. Sora moving up. Contact's made into Kelly. Sora still weaving back and forth. Chris Stitz with the run. Stitz on the outside, looking for the space. Jesse Thornton out of nowhere to the inside. 2 new leaders, and Thomas Green is in the mixture now.
Wow, just in a matter of a corner, it all changes complexion. And right now, Vincent Sora, our championship leader, is in the middle, 3 wide off the 4, and he is going backwards as the battle for the lead is on. Stitz trying to get his get back for Chicagoland.
Fighting every little way that you could, but Jesse Thornton now in the mixture. Also going to be seeing Chris Stitz. Still, both of these drivers up front, they took 4 tires. We have not seen those that took 2 have a way to gain back up. So that's going to throw away Aaron Crowley. That's going to give away Ryan Kelly. It's now the battle of the top 3, or is it the top 4? Because Vincent Sora is out of this one. He's no longer a factor back in 8th place. We're going to have a new driver to watch out for the victory lane. 4 laps to go. Cedric Hunter, who's mounting back and forth. Watch out for that pink Hello Kitty machine as our top 3 are being against one another. 3 laps to go here from the Cod-O-Club 220.
Well, I'll tell you what, people are asking for a exciting finish. They're looking at right now is there's more contact into 1. Cedric Hunter again looks to be the one winning out in this as he goes to the bottom. And Stitz, though, looking to maybe take the full control of the lead here. Now the back as he does, as Hunter only again able to get alongside that 3. It is now in control of the 17. Let's see if Stitz can bring this home.
And it's honestly still our top 5 all within 1/10 of one another, keeping it close. Or are we even going to keep it clean and green off the exit turn number 4? It's all a big wiggle as Jesse Thornick almost throws himself into the outside wall off the nose of the 3 machine. Here comes Noah Steele now down to the inside. 2 laps to go for Chris Stitz, looking for the redemption. All of the chaos, all of the turmoil from Chicagoland, the interference of Cody Reed getting in the mixture of that race. The 17, is this his chance to climb his way into victory lane? Does Jesse Thornick have something to stop the 3 machine of Thomas Green? Can it be the Hello Kitty? Is it Noah Steele? Here we go down in turn number 3. It's all Stitz looking good. He's got 2/10 over Thomas Green, who clears over Jesse Thornock, but Thornock trying to find a way to get to the inside as it's your Morecast. 1 more left to go here from the Cod-O-Club 220. Zach, this is it. Is it Stitz redemption race?
This looks to be it. He thought he had an opportunity at Chicagoland. Unfortunately, the situation did not work out in his favor. He came home second that night. Tonight, though, down the back straightaway, it looks like it's all in his hands.
Over Discord, after that Chicagoland race, Chris Stitz continuously was frustrated. He said, that was my chance. I don't get very many opportunities to get into victory lane. Everyone shot their fire here tonight. A gamble for 2 tires puts them in the track position. 4 tires at the end, and victory lane calls for Chris Stitz here at the Cod-O-Club 220. He got his redemption, and he's got his win for the first season of Trinity. Congratulations to Chris Stitz.
Wow, what a race. That was a wild one, folks. And I'm telling you what, we didn't see that one coming possibly.
I mean, it was either Vincent Sora. Could it be Ryan Kelly? Was it Cedric Hunter? Where did Thomas Green come back from after that penalty of speeding? A lot of unknowns. I mean, Jesse Thornock comes away 4th, Noah Steele 5th. A lot of wildness. And Vincent Sora, 14th place. Zach, this doesn't really shake things up crazily for the championship, but man, was that the run that I think a lot of those other competitors wish they had better finishes to capitalize on what a night it was.
This is the finish they needed, but none of them capitalized, like you said. I mean, Campbell came in tonight 4th in points, he's 19th. Tallmadge was 2nd, he's 17th. Larry Yingling only going to finish 9th. So only going to gain a few points on Vincent Sora after coming here 3rd in points tonight. If you're Sora, he was going for the victory. Unfortunately, it seems like made a little bit of a misjudgment there. Thought he was clear, and it was the contact between him and the 30 that opened up the door here. And Chris Stitz took that opportunity, and he ran with it, man.
I don't think he's ever going to stop until that engine blows up and the tires completely go away. Chris Stitz, enjoy the burnout, enjoy the fun. But for us up at the booth, we will step away. When we come back, it's the post-race show. Josh, you better hang out because we're going to be talking to this 17 of Chris Stitz as well. Third, second place finisher of Cedric Hunter, Thomas Green. And we'll talk to our top 3 in just a few moments. We'll be back for the post-race show right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show of the Trinity Racing League presented by Larry Arts Production. Tonight was race 4 out of 5 of the chase for the Cod-O-Club 220. It looked to be set in sail. Vincent Sora was going to win this race, but a lot of late cautions spun around, some late contact, and it was a wide open door for anyone to take it at the end. And it went to the 17 of Chris Stitz. Took the strategy call of 2 tires that gave him the track position to be up front, then maximized it when everyone took 4 tires. And at the end, he's the driver with victory now on his stats. Chris, it's Sam and Zach up in the booth. We missed out on the dramatic Chicagoland race with all of the shenanigans, the manipulating that was going on during that run. We know you were frustrated on the fact that you didn't get the win that night, but how much sweeter does it feel knowing that you won here tonight at Auto Club for the Cod-O-Club 220?
It feels great, guys. I've been trying to get this win done for so long, and between WSSR and here, and I'm just so happy to finally get it done.
I'll
Feels
tell
good,
you,
man.
yeah, definitely. I know it's gotta feel good, man. Congrats on it. That was a epic show that you guys put on. I mean, take us through that situation though, because the top two get into it a little bit, and the door opens up from there, and it was a battle on your hands at that point.
Yeah, when Ryan and Vincent got together and I saw him getting the wall, I was like, oh, wait, I got a chance here. So I just ran it as hard as I could. I knew if I stuck to the outside lane and just ran, I think it was door knockdown as hard as I could, it would make it really hard for him to get off the corner. I just keep that momentum on the outside, and I just kept throwing it in the corner and hoping it would stick, and it kept sticking.
It certainly did keep sticking. And I mean, Chris, this was a race where we even had in the chat, people were yawning a little bit just because of how long of a green flag run we had, how spread out everyone was. How difficult was it for you to mentally stay focused in a race that everyone got so spread out for most of this race?
Yeah, when I qualified as poorly as I did tonight, I didn't think I really had any shot. I knew I was good on the long run, but not good enough to catch the top 5 at least. And that caution came out. I had somewhat still fresh tires. I think I only had maybe 1 or 2 laps on them, and I took right sides to get up front. And fortunately, that second caution came out, came down, got 4, and things just played out perfectly.
Well, it certainly was a magical run here tonight, Chris. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
Uh, First off, like to thank my sponsor on the car. I got Frostfire. I actually work for them. It's my dad's company, so shout out to them, and thank you guys up in the booth for everything you do. I mean, even when you guys have problems, you still go out there and record a video and put it out, and that's awesome. Like, thank you guys so much for doing that. Thank you to all the league people who run this league. Really, it's been really fun this season. This is definitely one of the most fun times I've had running a season full league. And thanks to my teammates over at Yang Yang, got Ryan Kelly and Larry Yingling. I've learned a lot from them, driving behind them, just talking with them. They're really good drivers, and be able to close one out for them on the team, it feels good.
It was a fantastic run to watch. Chris Stitz in 17 finally joining the win column. Congratulations, Chris, on this win. Also want to give a shout out to Josh out in chat, who was rooting for you all the way back when it was 30 laps to go and believed in you the whole entire time. Chris, enjoy this win and good luck next week at Las Vegas.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, shout out to my boy Josh in chat.
As that will be your victor here tonight of Chris Stitz. We head down to second place to talk to the driver that at one moment we thought maybe was going to steal this thing at the end, but ultimately we'll have to settle for second. We have Cedric Hunter with us. Cedric, it was a night of speed and shock. You qualified well here tonight in 5th place. Ultimately didn't get the win, but man, did you look fast here tonight. How are you feeling though after your performance?
I'm bummed out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. We had the speed. I mean, I kind of predicted it or expected it, I guess, a few weeks ago when I called it. But like, I had decent long run pace. I felt like if I just kind of sucked in traffic, and it's kind of a story that's all this time with me being kind of mid, if not bad, on the short runs. And I think tonight I was a little bit maybe overly aggressive on the restarts, like or just on the short runs in general. I kept trying, I just kept throwing it bottom, 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 and then it did pay off. So, or most of the time I would just end up getting passed back and stuff like that. Anyway, so bummed out. I think I could have done a lot better. I think that was obviously that was Vinny's to lose, but I felt like outside of Vinny, like I should have been the one to win that, and I didn't play it right. So that's on me. We'll learn from it, and I mean it's great to actually have speed on the shorter runs, even though I was bad at placing my car places. But I think that it's exciting for next week.
Definitely is, Cedric. Definitely a good track coming up for you next week, also. But a great run here tonight, and we saw the decisions with drivers there late in the going with some of those yellows taking 2 tires, some not, some taking 4. You elected to be on the 4 side. Take us through those decisions on pit road.
Yeah, I contemplated taking 2, and we had a caution, like the first one there that triggered before they all got triggered, and that's the one that I think Larry took 2, and he had just about. I mean, he might have had 2 or 3 lap older tires, but he took 2, and I kind of saw that it didn't really work for him, and so I elected to just stay with 4, and figured I'd just put it all out there and see what happened. I probably should have taken the track position, but it is what it is. We raced our asses off tonight, and man, when I saw Vinny and Kelly get together and have damage and drop through the field, oh, that just kind of it brought life back to me there, and I was willing to do whatever it took. I just unfortunately didn't get close enough. So, um, good race all in all, and I think next week, obviously, nobody's really racing for anything. Vinny's basically got the thing locked up, so I think it's gonna be whatever it takes to win.
I mean, Cedric, it's been kind of fun to watch the evolution throughout this season and seeing certain drivers that really, took to this Xfinity car and found new life and speed. What has it been like for you this season on the Xfinity car and from where it started, the start of the season, where you are now? Have you enjoyed the car more? Has it kind of fallen away from its joy? Where are you at with this Xfinity car coming to the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it fits my driving style like big time. Just the old school. Like, I mean, this car really hasn't been updated in years. So, and I feel like that's the last time I was actually decent at the sim was years ago. So, it fits kind of my driving style. I will say like there's only a couple of races this season where I was like really uncomfortable. Like, Atlanta to start off the year, like it was really, really, really loose, and I just couldn't do anything in that race. Somehow, still got a good finish, but um, for the most part, it's kind of just been managing your right front, and if you do a good enough job at that, you're gonna be fast on long runs, and that's what I do. That's um, I guess yeah, what I'm like quote unquote I guess known for. So uh, it's good. I enjoy these cars. Hopefully they don't tweak it too much because I have a feeling that it's just gonna kind of go to shit if they do, just like every other vehicle in the sim. So um, sometimes new isn't good. Just keep the old.
Well, Cedric, looking at the stats after tonight's race, you officially are now leading in the most top tens collected this season. Congratulations on getting your 10th top 10 of the season, your 6th top 5. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout outs.
I appreciate it. And that's a really cool stat. I had no idea that. I actually am surprised by that. But thanks for giving me that. Shout out to you for the stat guy. Sam always coming in clutch. Thanks for Robert and Zach for doing everything you guys do, man. You guys put in so much work, and it's definitely noticed. Shout out to everybody that showed up tonight and that's been showing up the last couple of races. I know it's not always the funnest thing to kind of race for nothing, or to show up and not really have anything to race for. But obviously, we've had some really good races. So shout out to everybody. Thanks to all my teammates at Team 81, and everybody for tuning in.
Well, that will be your second place finisher here tonight in the 13 Hello Kitty machine of Cedric Hunter. Congratulations on your finish here tonight, Cedric. Enjoy it and good luck next week at Las Vegas.
Appreciate it, man. I can't wait to stuff somebody in the wall if I have to next week.
Can't wait for it. Well, that's going to be the 13 of Cedric Hunter. We'll see how well he performs next week at Vegas. We'll see if whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas as we pull in Thomas Green for this interview. Thomas, I mean, what a month of October you had, going for the 2 wins out of those 3 races. And you start November off looking like you had a chance for your 3rd win of the season. How are you feeling after your performance here tonight? Because I mean, what a recovery from your speeding to where you finished at the end.
Yeah, that was a crazy one at the end there. Um, just the highs and lows. It dictates or depicts my season perfectly of how good it's been or how bad it's been. And, I felt like we could have maybe got second or third there if it went green, and obviously we go into the pit road, and just like at Charlotte, I speed a little bit, just a little bit over, and it was enough to give me a penalty. And at that point, I thought all hope was lost. And then the caution came out right when I was exiting pit road, so I only lost one lap. And then I was able to get the free pass with fresh tires, so it all worked out in the end. And then I was able to kind of drive my ass off to get up to third there. But yeah, that was crazy. Shout out to Chris for winning that race, and shout out to Cedric for the way we were racing there. That was fun. Always a good time with those guys, and happy to see Chris get one.
Yeah, really good race here tonight, Thomas. I had you as my pick, man. I felt like you were going to continue your good runs. You continue it on here again tonight. I mean, like you said, you had the misfortune there on pit road. Unfortunate, the black flag. But what a job to come back from that. Because, I mean, we saw you had to come from really pretty much all the way from the back at one point.
Yeah, that was tough. Trying to pass all those guys. I feel like all the restarts were just so chaotic all night. It was everyone was just driving really hard and trying to get the outside grooves that get the run off, and then people were locking and sliding and beating and banging. It was crazy.
It certainly was. And Thomas, I mean, it doesn't really get any easier as we're heading to Las Vegas next week. How are you wanting to capitalize on your season as a whole, and what are you hoping is going to be the ultimate result tomorrow? I mean, for next week.
I mean, a win is always the goal. I love Vegas. I was able to get a win there at WSSR last time we went there, and I think that track is just a lot of fun. It's definitely one of my favorite ones, and to end the season on a win and hopefully get this 3 wins, that would be really cool. So yeah, hopefully we can do it. But I also want to stay away from Vinny. We've had some run-ins where things happened that wasn't our doing, and it's taken him out a few times. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And I hate it for him. He that was his race to win there, and it all just kind of crumbled in a matter of no time. But yeah, hopefully we can end the season off with a win, but try to stay out of the way from everyone. I expect to kind of get run hard if I'm going to run everyone hard. So we'll see how it goes.
We certainly will. Well, Thomas, congratulations on third here tonight. Before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any other shout-outs.
Just want to say a big thank you to Justin Forbes, Gridless Graphics, for making all the paints for this season. He's made some really cool ones, and this one is super memorable with the Dago in and Richmond. It was really cool to get this one in Victory Lane. I just want to say shout out to my teammates for doing great all season long, and hate it for Vinny again. And I want to say big shout out to my girlfriend Anna for all the love and support. I love you. Thank you for watching and supporting me through everything, all the highs and lows. And big shout out to you guys for always putting this stuff on, and I always love watching it back.
Well, thank you for giving us such a great show to call. That's going to be your third place finisher in the number 3 machine of Thomas Green. Thomas, enjoy this one, and good luck next week at Las Vegas.
Thank you, guys.
As we move away from our interviews here tonight, updates have collected in from the point standings, and kind of crazy as we pull up our unofficial results here tonight. Even with the poor finish that Vincent Sora had this evening and all the bonus points that he collected, he didn't lose anything. Actually, he stayed. 22 points is going to be the difference between Vincent Sora and Larry Yingling heading into next week. But Chris Ditz finally getting the win, the redemption after the Chicagoland little fiasco that went on, the racing manipulation that went down that race. Cedric Hunter thought that maybe he could steal the show with another heroics pass at the end. Just wasn't the case. Thomas Green will take third. Jesse Thornick White finished for the 14. Really was under the radar, but after taking the advantage of track position with that 2-tire call and staying out for that late caution, the 14 were given a top 5 finish at the end of the day. Noah Steele came away with a 5th place finish. Joshua Kanata 6th. Aaron Kralik, who started the race off, just could not get away from the outside wall, comes away with a 7th place finish. What a run for himself. Michael Miller 8th place, Larry Yingling 9th, and Ryan Kelly falling all the way down to 10th place. A shocker for that 30 machine that looked so good here tonight.
That's for sure. A wild race there to end it all, of course, for Ryan Kelly. But look at Marco Labertone, 11th here tonight to bring it home for himself. Great finish for that 44 team. possibly even the best of it for the season for him. Vincesora, of course, they're battling for the lead. He's going to come home 14th. Didn't lose no points, though. So our points leader still looking strong heading into the final race next week at Las Vegas. Then you look at Joshua Stovall, Cody Reed, Jackson Anderson, Justin Campbell, all those drivers involved in incidents here tonight. Jackson Anderson and Campbell back in 18-19 didn't bring out the yellow, but those two major collision, of course. And then just a tough night for others such as Justin Sipes, who also wrecked out early.
And also, of course, Jared Talmadge with his internet issues that took away a chance for him to even race here tonight. A wild 121 drivers raced at some point this evening, but it was Chris Stitz who takes the win for himself. What a run here this evening. 110 laps now in the books, but hey, we've got more racing on ahead of us here this week. Wednesday night, it's the WSSR Cup Series as they get ready to take the Gen 4 cars out to hot Atlanta. An exciting race to see how the season presses on. I know that this past week at Super Speedway Racing was the most exciting racing to see, but Zach, I got a feeling this upcoming Wednesday might be the race to watch out for.
Yeah, I think it'll be a much better representation of this car. The Super Speedway package was interesting to say the least, and hopefully we'll get an update for that for later in the season at Talladega. But man, I think Atlanta, I've ran some good amount of laps there now. It's going to be quite the show. I think you're going to see a lot of drivers around this racetrack. It's going to be very much filled up from the white line to the wall. So I'm excited to see who's going to be able to tackle it and who can stay on top of it, because tell you what, you get 30-40 laps into a run, those tires really start to fade away.
Slip in the sliding hot Atlanta. The 08 configuration is going to give us a show on Wednesday night. And then we're right back here next week. The conclusion of the first season of the Trinity Racing League presented by Larry Arts Production, about to conclude at Las Vegas. You don't want to miss it. We also want to say thank you to the amazing sponsors that have partnered up with the Trinity Racing League for their first season. We want to say thank you to Larry Arts Production himself for being the title sponsor, as well as Blazing Fast TV, Orchid Ink Tattoo Studios, Apex 50, as well as Hot Lap Designs, which Hot Lap Designs is fastest lap gonna go to Justin Sipes. Lap 3, early lap being put down, but he'll take that one bonus point for the 80 machine. We also want to say thank you to our White Flag sponsor, Morecast, and unfortunately today's race sponsor, as well as the Lucky Dog sponsor, that is the Lucky Cod, otherwise known as Cody Reed, sponsoring both today's race for the Cod-O-Club 220. Not the night Cody wants to remember, but hopefully it will all change up next week at Las Vegas. We cannot wait for it. But for tonight, thank you so much for joining with us. For myself, Sam Dyer, for Zach Hall and Robert Moyer Jr., thank you for spending your Monday evening with us. For everyone in the chat cheering on your favorite drivers, Josh, you were right. Don't give up on Stitz. He found a way to get it done here tonight. And for everyone else that's watching after the stream is over, thank you for participating in being a part of this Trinity Racing League journey. It's been a pleasure to give you this first season. We'll see how it concludes next week at Las Vegas. But for us up at the booth, our week's not over just yet. Can't wait until Monday. We've got you covered. Race 2 of the season for season 12 of the WSSR Cup Series presented by Elwood Designs. You don't want to miss it. Slipping and sliding with the Gen 4 cars at Hot Atlanta. Who will survive? Who's going to be a part of the carnage? We'll have to find out Wednesday night for our next Freaky Fast broadcast.